I don't like that link now. It doesn't give me the big box. That's okay. I guess that's just the new default Twitch link. Weird.
Are you breaking shit again?
No, just look in Discord in the announcements. Like, it's not the same box as usual.
It's not like embedded.
Yeah.
Weird. Which one are we starting with?
It should be 8-7, or I think it's 874 is the first one. I'm gonna load it. There should be a Shyvana. There's a Shyvana. Alright, 874.
Oh, there is. They're out of order.
Yeah, I mean, imagine using like a draft tool, like Pentac, and then still being out of order, right?
Is it Pentac or Pentacube?
I don't know. I've always said Pentac, but I've also heard Pentacue. I feel like you can go either way on it.
Yeah. That seems reasonable. Very inclusive.
Oh man, Hulk coming through with the 5-month resub. There we go. I always feel like such a shield Twitch streamer saying stuff like that. Makes me uncomfortable in some way. I do really appreciate it, even if that sounds really fake, but yeah, I don't know. I think you can refund Prime subs. As a side note.
You almost certainly can't. That would definitely be abused if that were available. So we're holding his Prime hostage.
Oh, you're gonna call Jeff Bezos and find out. That's fair.
Yeah, right. Like Jeff Bezos even knows what Twitch is. Didn't he quit? Isn't it someone else now?
No, I'm pretty sure it's still him.
I thought I'd read something about him stepping down. I might be making that up.
Alright, so I'm looking at this logo, right?
Uh-huh.
I can't determine if there's like a color in here that would be quantifiable as like a main color. There's a lot of colors going on. I think I might just make them white, just for fun.
I cannot see, so I cannot give input.
Well, you'll get to see it, but you have the draft link, right? I sent that to you.
You sent me 2.
Yes, that's right. Alright, well, we're at 5:03. We wasted 6 minutes or so, so. Oh shit. shit, 600 bits. Are you gonna refund this? That's mean of me. Thanks Hulk for the bits. Oh, you just did it to one up my 590. All right. Well, that's fair. I would never encourage a bidding war, but
How can you feel bad shilling when you accept his prime and then immediately shit talk him for giving you bits? That's my question.
I'm just a terrible Twitch streamer, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Mm,
All right. Well, welcome officially. You can see the new home background behind me. My name's Maris. My co-caster is Aikedo, who's actually just in the other room. So that's pretty exciting. We got the in-house casting duo.
yeah,
Um,
that'd be true.
yeah. So now we can double annoy my wife. It'll be great. Anyway, today we have two series. The first one's going to be Return to the Middle Sticks versus Crosspoint Southpaw, which now you can see the really terrible logo on the screen. And yeah, what would you say is the primary color of that?
Well, I mean, white definitely is the most represented.
Yeah.
I guess technically green, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of dirty. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, what do you think the like waves in the background represent?
I think it's just a cool background. I think that's what it.
Yeah? Okay.
Potentially. Do you think it represents something else?
I think that it represents our impermanence on Earth. But yeah, we have some League of Legends to look at. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that Teemo ban. That's kind of interesting. Was that just a missed ban, or are we legitimately banning Teemo?
Isn't that the general misstand?
Yeah, but that's the boys, and they're not they're at the regular roster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Gwen. Gwen isn't in PentaQ. Oh, okay, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Okay, well, so let's look at these drafts. Anything look kind of strange to you? What sticks out in your mind?
Cho'Gath first pick seems a little weird. Surprised, if you're picking Tristana feels like a more normal first pick, but other than that, I don't know, it seems reasonable. Shyvana, does she go AP or AD now?
I think she can go either. I'm pretty sure AP is still better, but
I mean, they seem reasonable. RotM picked up the high tier Rumble jungle. Bard for Hulk seems interesting. Is that Morgana mid?
I would assume so.
Pod?
Could be Tristana mid with a more bottom, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
We're also flaming them because they lined up out of order anyway after doing PentaQ, so that's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But no, other than that, it seems pretty general.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna ban a jungler, and RotM's gonna ban a jungler, you have first pick. And it's not a jungler.
Yeah.
It feels kind of weird. Waiting until blue 5 to pick jungle. It's a little strange.
Yeah, I
Especially
think
since
it's
you're
weird.
giving over the rumble.
Yeah, I think it's weird you wouldn't try to bait with the Morgana, even if the Morgana was your plan. That could be
I would
flex.
assume that Morgana just wasn't the plan, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
And Morgana is blind, so interesting. Ready to get in the game?
Yeah, let's look at the game. Kill this music. And yeah, if you're ready, we'll go ahead. 3, 2, 1, go. I lost my chat. There we go. All right. On the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 1, is going to be Crosspoint Southpaw. In the top lane, Control Alt Elite playing Cho'Gath. Warhead number 852 in the jungle playing Shyvana. Elfire assumedly in mid playing Morgana. Then Ranger 24 and Pretty Good Smiter in the bottom lane playing Tristana and Leona.
On the red side of the rift, we have Return of the Middle Sticks with Viva on the top lane on the set. 2004 Lexus GX 470 on the Rumble in the Jungle. Wing Nation playing Vel'Koz mid, and then Boar and Hulk on the Kaisa Bard bottom lane. And looking at the runes, Shyvana probably AP,
Yeah.
if you had to guess. Um, Strange that someone named Pretty Good Smiter, in fact, is not taking Smite. It feels like a really wasted um, use of their talents, frankly.
Yeah, and like no summoner spellbook just to sneak one in even.
Yeah, definitely a little disappointed in that. Maybe if this game doesn't go very well, then in game two, they can swap things around and make sure that happens because, as it is, it just feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But
I liked Set doing his best V-Bon impersonation, doing those crunches, getting the abs.
yeah. Oh. So Set usually pretty good into tanks, but Cho'Gath uh does a pretty good job sustaining through lane. Trades pretty well. How do you think that this lane normally should end up going?
Honestly, I think it's pretty even. Like I'd call it a skill matchup overall. Um, I'd say it's probably slightly Set favored, but they both sustain so much that it's hard to do meaningful damage. So it's going to be all about your big all in, which after 6 could really go either way. The biggest thing is that Set's Set's ult works on percent max health, um, or not percent max health, just overall max health. So, and
Yeah.
Vel'Koz built a bunch of health, or Cho'Gath built a bunch of health. That's level 2 in the bottom lane though for his EPS, and even gonna blow that ignite onto Boar. They forced the flash out a pretty good smiter. He got a little too close to the turret. The flash forward for the Jolly Rancher from Hulk, and he'll find first blood.
Yeah, and a little bit too far forward. There was a good engage off the level 2 from Pretty Good Smiter, but got a little bit too excited. Tristana didn't want to go for it, and Leon ends up going under turret, taking a turret shot and falling. So RTM, despite the poor trade, they're able to come out on top, pick up a kill there. It's only going on to the Bard, but the more important thing is just the pressure here. Is Tristana obviously not allowed to farm now in this lane?
Yeah. Anyway, Cho'Gath built a bunch of health, so you can throw him in and just do an absolutely disgusting amount of damage just throwing Cho'Gath onto his team. But
Yeah.
Ranger's back and trying a little bit of aggression there onto Boar, but I don't think he's going to be able to find too much in the bottom lane. And
It's still level 2 for both of the CPS bot laners, so I don't think they want this.
yeah, this is very aggressive bottom lane, and even getting the full passive stack. They're looking down onto Elfire, but he's got the Black Shield on for the time being, has to flash away from the Tectonic Disruption from Wing Nation, so already a good start for RTM. V-Bon maybe feeling a little worse for Wear, but the rest of the map going pretty well for RotM.
Yeah, definitely. And just the slow from the harpoons there from the Rumble, able to just force the flash out of Elfire. And it means that Morgana has the Black Shield, but pushes quite a bit, so could be in a bit of a precarious position there in the mid lane here in the next few minutes. But interestingly enough, is that Lexus, despite his top laner not having pressure, was able to pick up both crabs. So pretty significant lead here already in terms of XP. As the Shyvana took a reset instead. Double dagger, I assume, means that we're looking for a Nashor's Tooth Rush.
Yeah,
So.
Nashor's would be the clear speed item, whereas a lot of the other ones would indicate that you're looking more for burst. So
Yeah, interestingly enough, is that with the change to Nashor's, it's significantly worse of an item on AP Shyvana just because it no longer gives CDR, which was very important. Old Nashor's gave 20% as well as a ton of attack speed, and new Nashor's just does not. So means fewer fireballs coming out, but quite a bit less damage there in the early mid game once Shyvana does get access to the ultimate.
yeah,
But
Ranger
yeah.
and Purdy gonna go ahead and shove in that bottom lane, get a recall. We'll see if they can match Boar's buy here. Oh, doesn't look like it, just a little short. So you've got a pickaxe on Boar, and you've got the long sword plus cull for Ranger.
That feels bad if you're the Tristana Leona lane. This is a lane where you want to be aggressive, you want to be looking for these early fights, and if you have to spend the money on an early cull, you know, just to try and farm it out, then that means that your lane not going particularly well. Um, Though Boar with the pickaxe will do quite a bit of damage, has quite a bit of burst available to him, so even if they do end up jumping on him, it could be a little bit scary here.
Yeah,
Bot lane for his TPS.
also kind of interesting Hulk with the first back Ionian boots. So looking for the CDR, not necessarily the movement speed and the roaming that you're more used to seeing, I guess, on the Bard.
Yeah, and that's just the value of the CDR boots this early in the game. They just give you so many stats for so cheap. You know, a lot of people, if you're able to go for it, you probably do just go for it.
Oh, baiting a little bit hard with his face. Actually takes the Leona with him. I don't know that she wanted to go all the way through. And now Lex is overheated, but autoing her down in the pit, and will finish off the kill with the Electro Harpoon. So the big bait magical journey there from Hulk. But right now, Winged has to teleport back into mid lane to make sure that Morgana can't roam over. But it looks like this should be secured by Lexus.
Yeah, gonna be able to pick that one up off of pretty good smiter. Just once again going a little bit too far forward there. You know, don't know if it was a misclick or what, but going through the magical journey was in fact a one-way trip back to your fountains. So not ideal there. And once again, the Leona that should be aggressive should be looking for these early plays. If you spend most of your early game in the fountain, unfortunately, you're just not getting a whole lot done. It means that Boar and Hulk in a lane that should be a little bit scary are very firmly ahead at this point.
Yep, Vibon finishes up his Iron Spike whip and will go back and immediately whip control Alt Elite. Evens up that CS. That's, you know, not a terrible spot to be in for either top laner. I think they'll both be feeling pretty good so far.
Yep, definitely. Our team, of course, during that scuff was able to pick up the first dragon, which doesn't feel great if you're Shyvana. Shyvana is known for wanting to pick up those dragons early and often because she gets so many free stats from them. And is usually able to solo them out from a pretty early point in the game, usually around level 4. But with Lexus on the Rumble, able to get enough pressure in combination with his bot lane to be able to pick that up, that's pretty good for setting behind you know, Warhead, who already didn't have the strongest of early clears.
Yeah, binding and land onto Wing in the mid lane, but look at just the inventories for the two junglers right now. It doesn't feel like there's that big of a gap between them, but I would much rather have the Alternator plus Dark Seal combo compared to a recurve bow sitting in the inventory right now. And especially with level 6 hit, that Equalizer's going to pop.
Definitely a lot more upfront damage there, you know, as opposed to the recurve bow. It helps out when you're clearing, but if you ever actually end up in a fight, you know, it just doesn't do a whole lot for you. Warhead actually showing on the crab ward
Elfire
there.
going in for the Soul Shackles, flashes in, Equalizer used, and Elfire's not going to get out of that one. The flash over the wall for the Lifeform Disintegration Ray for Winged finds the kill. In the bottom lane, they're continuing to scrap. Boar taken pretty low. Ranger in with the rocket jump, gets tethered into the wall. The Buster shot away. Doesn't quite finish off the Kaisa, though. More autos being traded back and forth. Boar down to a sliver of health, and the two for Crosspoint a little bit faster.
Oh.
He uses the Zenith Blade to go in for the stun. Boar ignited, but has enough health to be able to kite back away. Finally falls to the Ignite. Hulk should have his magical journey, but he wants to just fight it out. The minion's doing so much work on Ranger, but it's not going to be able to finish that one off. Meanwhile, on the top side of the Rift, RotM going to take the first Rift Herald of the game.
Yeah, and it was a good engage, couple of really good engages there from pretty good smiter, and we see, you know, what might have been if this lane was just a little bit closer, a bit more even, if this Leona and Tristana weren't behind. But, you know, you just see that call in the inventory, and you see people walking away with just barely any HP, and it's just so evident what had happened here. You hate to see it.
Yeah, and now look at the, like, Ranger hasn't been back to base, so hopefully he'll get to do that in a second. But the finished Noon Quiver plus, oh no, Hulk coming in, sees blood, hits the Q. The Void Seeker isn't quite going to hit, but Hulk with the solo kill onto Ranger, sending him back to the fountain. But now in comes Warhead. The Fire Breath isn't quite there. Boar kiting out, trying to get back away. Leona's there. He can't decide whether he wants to go in or out. He's zigging and zagging, and eventually takes a big chunk from the Flame Breath from Warhead, but not, you know, the most impactful first ultimate from the Shyvana. You know, maybe falling a little bit off the pace that you'd want to be on the Shyvana.
Definitely, but in both of these fights back to back, or as we see Vibon and
Oh, they're
Control
really going
delete.
for it. Yeah, using the ultimate. Couple more auto attacks. Flashes away, but the flash feast for Control Alt Elite. It's such a close 1v1, but he's able to take it on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, the ultimate there, just so much true damage, able to beat down the set. But in the last two fights we've seen in the bot lane, two extremely good ultimates from Hulk. You know, the Bard able to dissuade a couple of Leona engages there, you know, and able to get his AD carry out alive has really been the turning point, it feels like. But yeah, Warhead, even after showing up there to try and help out his ADC, who ends up falling to Hulk, just not able to do a whole lot. Just is not very strong at this point in the game. The Shyvana needs items. The AP Shyvana does a lot of damage if you can get
Ooh,
them.
they find the
But
engage, but the Solar Flare not quite there on Dabor. Uses the ultimate to get back out. The Buster Shot doesn't finish him off. And now Vbon is here for the Face Breaker, and it's two very quick kills for ROTM. Control Alt Elite even using his teleport to get down to the bottom lane, but he's just going to be herded back under the tower. And look at that timing for ROTM, right as the dragon spawns. They might have caught Vbon. The Flame Breath over the wall just burning through. Hellfire back away, but eventually just the last tick, the last edge of that Lifeform Disintegration Ray from Wignation.
and great timing on the engage there by ROTM, able to get the pick right before Dragon, and just taking full advantage of, once again, the Leona just got a little bit too far forward. And the moment she does, there are four people down in her lane. You know, an instant teleport there from Vbon means
Ooh,
that
Hulk
even when
trying to
it's
set up that
responded
pick
to,
onto Warhead. Oh, not quite the right
oh,
timing there on the Cosmic Binding, so he'll just take his magical journeying away. I like the look, though. You can see Hulk's out there trying to make plays on the Bard, which is what you want to see. And he hasn't, goofed him up. You know, the line on
yeah.
Bard is so thin to whether you're the most impactful, most useful character on your team or you're completely trolling. And I think
I'd
that's
say
why
he's
a lot of
often
people like Bard.
the most impactful. The issue is just, you know, whether you're assisting your team or not. But every single ult so far for Hulk has looked really good. And for a champion like Bard that isn't the easiest to play, and you know, with the option to just fuck your entire team over at any point, showing really good plays on it so far.
Ooh, the
Oh,
ult back in. Pulse control delete. Even hits the minion there, so he gets the stun. That's a nice little combo, but nothing permanent going to happen up in the top lane.
yeah, and the set ultimate isn't that long of a cooldown, so I don't know if he'll be hurting for long. Just using it there to apply a little bit of pressure and get to that wave without Cho'Gath giving him
Ooh,
too much
they're
harassment.
trying to bait Boar down here. He's walked up to the minion wave. He's taken it. Pretty good smiter. Hits the Zenith Blade in. They'll get the stun. Do they actually have the damage? The ultimate from Bard, trying to buy some time, and now he's here to join the double Cosmic Binding. He'll dash back. They assassinate Ranger, and the Solar Flare trying to lock up Boar. Oh, he's still alive, the Guardian Shield, but he flashes forward for the W in the top lane, though Cho'Gath burns down. Now Hulk may be in a little bit of trouble as Warhead has rejoined the fray. Pretty good smiter, stuns him up. Bard trying to trade it back, doesn't have the Cosmic Bind, he doesn't quite have the moves. Wing just walks in, but he's not going to be able to find anything as the teleport comes in from Hellfire. Flash forward for the Dark Binding, not quite able to find it, and little chips of damage happening, but up in the top lane, Vbon and Lexus continuing to go to work on that turret.
And even when CPS is able to find a really good play there in the bottom lane, get the engage onto Boar when he's all alone, unfortunately for them, Hulk once again just coming in perfectly with the ultimate, comes in, gets a massive stun, and they're able to trade the kills back. It's just disaster. Even when they're looking for the good plays, it just goes so poorly for them. As we see the reset here. Gold lead pretty significantly in RotM's favor. It seems like everything is just going their way so far this game. Next fight, probably going to be in a couple minutes here. It's going to be the third dragon spawning, Ocean Drake, here in just hair over 2 minutes.
Boar just playing Razor's Edge as he wants to do, dodges onto the Dark Binding in the mid lane. But yeah, 2 minutes on that dragon. An important timing that you called out. Oh, Hulk's just
Oh,
walking in. He's going to take a shield to the face, but unperturbed by that. And as it turns out, like a cosmic deity, really not particularly worried about just getting hit in the face with a shield.
it's so far up, just so much confidence being exuded there by Hulk, even when his backup wasn't right behind him. You know, just acting like it was meant that CPS had to respect it, had to give him the space that he wanted there. Oh,
Oh, Bardolt over the wall, going to catch pretty good smiter, and they're going to collapse onto the Leona, but they have to be careful not to get collapsed upon. He's on top of Boar. The solar flare doesn't quite get him. The ultimate is really well timed by Boar, and they will finally finish off the Leona. Dark Binding lands. Hulk is burning down in the pool, but he's got his flash still available. The ultimate from Winged isn't quite there, but the Flame Breath catches Hulk while he's trying to eat some fruit over the wall. A little bit greedy there by the Bard, and he does pay for it. Now Winged, a little cheeky, stepping in, looking for that Plasma Fission. Not going to land on Boar. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Vbon is split push. He finds the first turret of the game. And so that little extra chunk of gold will go into the pocket of the middle sticks.
Yeah, and it just shows how far ahead RTM already is as they engage onto the support, the tanky Leona, and it doesn't matter, even with, not the greatest target selection, even with getting flanked from the side by the Tristana, they're still able to get the kill, and, it's only a very nice snipe from Warhead that's able to actually end up trading it out. Um, but yeah, once again, Hulk just continuing to look for the plays here. Our team actually expending their teleport to make sure that they have the pressure here in the bot lane in order to get the vision around the dragon. Spawning here in just over 15 seconds, so we'll see if CPS decides that they want to contest this. They have the Cho'Gath walking in from base, so
Hulk
it's going to be a few
walking in. They're going to
seconds.
find a Leona in the bush. Start burning her down. Teleport being channeled by Control Alt Delete as he's on the top side of the fight. Vbon just a little bit separated, so they've got to wait a little bit for this set before they can set up these battle lines, but it doesn't look like CPS are going to be able to force their way in, at least immediately. These Plasma Fissions starting to do a little bit of damage. The finished Leandri's Torment for Winged, or Leandri's Anguish for Winged is going to start to add up some of this damage as RTM does start up on the Dragon on the bottom side. Bard only going to catch L-Fire to start off with, but that's enough as they throw a bunch of abilities in. The fight going to break out. Pretty Good Smiter going to be the first victim as Vbon just buying a bunch of time on the backside. And between his damage and the Lifeform Disintegration Ray, they melt the team. Control Alt Elite trying to get back away. They're scrapping at melee range. Hulk trying to kite back away. He's going to fall for his trouble, but they'll take down the Tristana. And Cho'Gath will be the only surviving member of Crosspoint Southpaw. ROTM takes 4 and a dragon.
It wasn't the craziest engage in the world. It was on to the Morgana, who was able to black shield herself and, stall out quite a bit. But our team just did such a great job of kiting backwards as a team. Vbon immediately jumping into the backline to distract everyone as the rest of our team is able to kite back, play it front to back, and just sort of come out on top, flexing their wallets there. Now 15-7 kill lead, gold lead of almost 6k, more than 6k, almost 7k. It's an amount. It's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of money in your favor.
There's some gold, and our team has more of it. Yeah.
It's an accurate description right there.
But
yeah, our team picked up the third dragon there, so pressuring the Ocean Soul. Oh no, Hellfire.
Wing looking for it. Does he actually have the damage to one rotation Hellfire? We're about to find out. Oh, the knockup doesn't land. Winged has to be careful now. That Dark Binding was accurate. There's a lot of things happening in that little fight, but none of them super permanent. Hellfire may be in trouble, though. Had to burn his flash, so now just the side steps, but now Boar and Hulk maybe on the wrong side. I don't know what that animation was. That lagged for just a second. Warhead still kiting back away from the fight. Leona looking for the engage. Flashes forward. They'll find the stun. Boar very low, but the equalizer dropped. It's burning through. They'll be able to finish off the Leona. Ranger jumps forward, but it's not quite enough. Double kill for Lexus as they're able to kite out of that fight. Warhead and Hellfire very low, still being herded back underneath their turret. They're going to look for the dive here with just the 3 minion stack. Lexus pulling the minions back away. Not going to find that Plasma Fission. They're still looking for it, and they'll finish it off. A nice looking little dive there for RTM.
Yeah, and it looked like RTM had pushed a little bit too far forward. It was a really good punish from Warhead and Ranger 24 coming over the wall, able to get the kill back, but unfortunately Ranger 24 just a little bit too far forward, ends up rocket jumping even further in to try and trade another kill. It ends up just falling there, and RTM able to pick up the kill onto Hellfire as well as a result. So, despite it looked like a good play, and it just goes so poorly there for them. Lexus using the equalizer to secure the red buff, make sure that Hulk isn't able to take that, jungler rights and all.
Yeah, I mean, look at the cooldown on the equalizer, though. That thing's already back to about a third up. Like, that isn't down for any length of time. That's pretty insane. Let's take a look.
Yeah, no, by the next time he sees anyone from the enemy team on his screen, he will have his ultimate available.
43 seconds at rank 2. That's pretty crazy. Oh, the Bard ult not quite gonna find a pretty good smiter or Hellfire.
He's allowed to miss one, I
Yeah.
suppose, you know.
Oh, he
Based
still
on
hit
how
it. He
many-
hit V-Bon, so.
True, true.
No, that was also a longer range one. It's fair. It's good. I saw the
Yeah.
play in my eyes. It just didn't quite work out.
Yeah. Unless the idea was to say V-Bon, in which case, perfect ult.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Interestingly enough, we saw the Tristana buy the call on that first back a million years ago, 21 minutes into the game. Still has 9 stacks left on this call. Still hasn't had the chance to cash it in. That just feels so bad. But once he does, could be pretty close in gold with Boar. Boar currently up 700 gold over his counterpart there, so.
Yeah, the big leads are mid and jungle, though. Winged and Lexus flexing their muscles so far in game 1. That equalizer over the top to start things off. Just casual half of Hellfire and pretty good Smiter's health. Now they're looking for a little bit more. A really good ult from Hulk is going to start things off. We'll see if they can line it up. The double knockup from Vel'Koz. Just a little tickle of damage from the Vel'Koz ultimate is enough, and Crosspoint Southpaw forced to run. The flash in from Lexus. He's burning him down with the Flame Spitter. In with the Cosmic Binding. They find all of the skill shots. It's a double kill for Hulk. Oh no, Boar. Oh, you hate to see it. That's a crazy range on that tower over the wall.
Yeah, somehow ends up eating the binding there, just the edge of the tower range, and ends up falling down. But you can just see the
He
power
just
of this
used that
composition
equalizer,
from-
by the way, and it's up now.
Yeah, no, it is ready already. Oh,
Warhen gets the black shield. Stay safe. Oh, black dark
But-
binding gonna land again on the wing, but he's got a hot chocolate to help him out.
and Dragon spawning here in just a few seconds. So RTM going to be pretty happy to just walk back and secure the Ocean Soul. But we see the power of this team composition from ROTM. They have so much long range, low committal damage that they can just continually throw out. Oh, the teleport coming in.
Oh
Looks
yeah,
like CPS
teleport
was trying to
behind. They're
contest.
looking for Winged. The counter teleport from V-Bon. Can Wing get out? The Bard ult buying some time. V-Bon is in. Pretty good smiter low.
Oh.
Wing just trying to find a little pocket where he can get some damage. Oh no, they ult in the Cho'Gath and he eats the dragon. No Ocean Soul this time for ROTM. Oh no. Tragedy. Hellfire trying to walk back in. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he flashes back out. Boar trying to chase him down. The Rocket's not quite going to be able to finish him off, but V-Bon just took the Cho'Gath over the wall right into the dragon. An easy steal for Control Ult Elite.
Yeah, Wing Nation was just a little bit out of position there. Ends up getting flank teleported on by the Cho'Gath, and you know, there's a great Bard ult to keep him alive. Unfortunately, it sets up the rest of the play where CPS able to make it into the pit and contest. Though ROTM, even without much of a tank option here, are able to just take down the Baron. They have the Leandries, they have the Kraken Slayer Kaisa, so plenty of damage, and they're able to just take that you know, off of the advantageous fight there. Which
Yeah.
I suppose if you're gonna trade that last dragon, not pick up the soul, picking up the Baron's, you know, an okay consolation prize.
Yeah, honestly, like, while that fight went a little bit better for CPS than these previous fights have, it secured them going further behind in the game because of the Baron. 24 stacks on the Magi's, by the way, for Lexus. He's almost got that book fully written.
Yeah, he's a very strong boy, and yeah, when we're measuring the success of the fight as, oh well, they stole the dragon, I suppose. You know, they still ended up losing several people there. It was nowhere near a one-team fight for them, and RTM setting up with the Baron did a pretty good job of getting the resets off, so quite a bit of uptime on this one. We'll see how much they're able to get, but we've seen, you know, with all this longer range damage, they should be able to actually see pretty well.
Sidestep there from Leona trying to force the engage and can't find any abilities. Ranger gets hit by the Bard ultimate. Everybody gonna disengage, but I like this setup. We've seen this team in particular struggle with their Baron setups, waste a lot of time at the front end of this. This feels much quicker. This feels like they're on pace with what they need to do with the Baron. Vbon on the bottom side, harassing already down onto this inhibitor turret. Mid lane still being buffed up by Lexus and Winged. Hulk over the wall, gonna find two. Boar still trying to start this fight off, gets hit by the Rupture, but can they actually find any more? Leona's onto him, but he's kiting back successfully, and in comes the Equalizer over the top. They tunneled a little too hard, and Lexus was able to find that rotation and 2 kills. Boar just chunking through the beefy tank, and the Lifeform Disintegration Ray finds the tip for the ace. It's a double kill for Winged, and that'll be game number 1 for Return of the Middle Stakes.
And the unsung hero of that fight was Vbon, who flashed in, was able to get a massive face breaker to stun everyone on top of the Equalizer and just set up that play. ROTM, really clean game overall. I don't think that there was really any point where it was, looking that scary, other than I suppose minute 2 where Leona had the one and only good engage of the game.
Wait, your teammate's Banshee Veil doesn't work on the Bard ult?
Your teammates being able to pop your own Banshees would be kind of troll, I think. Can you imagine if like Vel'Koz got caught out and you Bard ult to try and save him and it just pops his Banshees?
Regardless, a dominant game number 1 for ROTM. Lexus finishing with that full Magi's Soul Stealer. Kind of weird that that whole book is only 25 pages, right? I guess that's just the children's Magi's Soul Stealer.
Yeah, it's not even a novella. It's kind of a little disappointing, Maybe it's a picture book.
Maybe. Deathless performances for Winged and Lexus. We'll see if they can carry that through into game number 2, which we'll have in just a couple minutes, so don't go anywhere. Do you imagine it more like a Death Note, or like what's the headcanon on the Magi Soul Stealer? Like what's actually written on these pages? Just
I'd
someone.
imagine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like bureaucratic paperwork, maybe, because it takes up like 4 pages for one person. Like, yeah, I hit this guy in the face with a laser and he died.
Potentially.
Gotta write that up.
It's definitely cataloging your conquests, right? Your won fights. Perhaps it's just really eloquent descriptions of the fights. That's why assist not as important. Doesn't have quite as many pages because you don't really want to talk about it too much because it's just your assist, right? You don't want anyone else to have the spotlight. You want your kills to have the spotlight.
Yeah. Do you like turn this into the Magi's comps at the end? Get that insurance adjuster information? Like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Potentially. Either that or, it is Soul Stealer, right? Maybe it's just lots of contracts by the people that you're killing to, have control of their soul.
Yeah, you're out there just, oh, Leona, before you die, I'm gonna need that soul.
I think so, absolutely. Otherwise, how are you getting stronger from it, right?
Alright, I've got the draft up if you're ready.
I do have it open.
Alright. Well, welcome back. RTM leads 1-0. This is the draft for game number 2. Yeah, it's they drafted some things for sure.
Yeah, so Rumble ban I think makes quite a bit of sense. After Lexus had a pretty good performance there on it in the previous game. The Morgana first pick, I assume that that's just targeting Lexus again, making sure that with the Rumble out of the picture, he's not able to get the Morgana jungle.
Yeah. Pushing him down the tier list, he's got to play the Udyr now, a real champion.
Yeah. Though, Trundle is technically a champion, I suppose.
Technically.
I don't know how well Trundle's going to do into Udyr. Just because I don't think that you can actually fight him at any point in the game. Pillar's a little bit annoying to Udyr, but otherwise, it feels like you just kind of get hard out cleared forever by the Udyr, and Lexus should be in a position to get a pretty significant lead in the jungle, I believe.
Yeah. But that said, their comp is they've got Kog'Maw, so
That is the composition.
yeah.
There is in fact 0 other forms of damage on this team. I guess Morgana, but Morgana is very inconsistent, very unreliable damage. So all of the eggs are in the Kog'Maw basket here.
Yeah. So then for ROTM, what do you like or hate about their comp?
I think that Udyr makes a lot of sense. Vbon on Ornn is always good. Always happy to see him on Ornn. I think the Sylas pick is very interesting because you got to see the entire enemy composition first. And I'm trying to come up with what champions we're happy playing Sylas into. I don't think we're happy playing into Morgana. I don't think we're happy playing into Kog'Maw. Braum doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun because he's just going to interrupt everything. Pretty sure Trundle beats us in a 1v1. Are we playing for Trundle ult? Is that why we want it? Do we think that we're just going to kill Morgana in the 1v1? It just feels like a really strange pick considering the enemy team comp. I'd much rather see Vel'Koz is banned, so maybe something else long range that will be able to stop Kog'Maw from actually being able to team fight. Maybe this is the Xerath run back.
Yeah, the Xerath, the Ziggs. You want something more artillery magey for Wayne?
Yeah, because if you're able to poke out Kog'Maw, then he's just no longer allowed to team fight. And if Kog'Maw isn't allowed to team fight, CPS isn't allowed to team fight. And it should mean, a lot of free objectives for you. Whereas with Sylas, I just don't know what Sylas is going to do this game.
All right. Well, let's take a look and see how we fare on the Rift for game number 2.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, on the bottom side of the Rift for game number 2, wearing the blue health bars, trying to avoid dropping to 0-4 on the season is Counterpoint Southpaw. God, I've done that every time. Crosspoint Southpaw.
You got it.
I don't know anymore. Control Ult Elite in the top lane playing Scion. Warhead 852 in the jungle on Trundle. Elfire in mid playing Morgana, and Ranger 24 and Pretty Good Smiter on Kog'Maw Braum.
And on the red side of the Rift, wearing the red health bars, Vbon, top lane, playing the Ornn 2004 Lexus GX 470 with Udyr in the jungle. Wing Nation playing Sylas mid, and then Boar and Hulk on the Kai'Sa Thresh bottom lane. And I don't know if you saw it, but Lexus doesn't have an Udyr skin, so we get to see full Hobo Man running around in the jungle.
You think this is fuller Hobo Man than his, April Fool's skin?
Absolutely. The April Fool's skin's great. He actually wears the costumes for them. Whereas this, he's very much just wearing a brown paper bag and running around. It's, a little depressing. It feels like someone needs to ask Udyr if he's doing okay, if he needs some help.
I haven't seen people
Is
use
that actually black belt? Udyr?
No, that's his regular skin. That's base. I haven't seen that black belt skin in game in a long time. There is skin. I don't...
Yeah?
No, that's the base Udyr. You're not having me on with that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh? Really cheeky hook there by Hulk, trying to find its way onto Ranger 24, but not quite. It'll be really interesting. Pretty Good Smiter several times in the last game was very aggressive, very willing to go in, perhaps to his detriment sometimes on the Leona. This time around, Braum, a very different champion, very different style, very different play pattern. Be interesting to see if he's able to
little hook onto Pretty Good Smiter. Level 2's hit. They're just exchanging. Boar's going to get stunned up. The exhaust coming through onto Ranger. Flaying him back in. Boar looking for the auto attacks now. He gets exhausted. Summoner spells being exchanged. A couple more autos. The flash forward, but it's first blood for Boar.
And the CPS bottom lane is still level 1. They're level 1 and they're opting into that fight.
They're level 1 and their ADC has boots.
Oh my god. And their ADC's Kog'Maw. A lot of decisions made. There's a really good engage there from ROTM. Heads up play, pushing that level 2, and then able to come out on top there. And once again, just the bot lane here for CPS is, just playing at a deficit already in this game.
Yeah, where are you on the BMA versus Kog'Maw spectrum?
BMA
versus
Pogma?
BMA versus
Pugma?
Pugma. Yeah.
I think that BMA is probably an objectively better looking skin. Um, but I don't know. I like Pugma.
Okay, you're wrong. Number one. But
Yeah. Which part?
no, Pugma is an abomination and shouldn't be in League of Legends. I think we've had this discussion every time there's a Kog'Maw, but
Ooh.
another big knockup from Vbon. He's just straight winning
Flash
this matchup.
clap? Oh.
So this is a Scion favorite matchup, for the record.
No, it isn't. What?
Yeah.
Ornn wins every tank matchup because he's Ornn, doesn't he?
No, you can stack up damage.
Brittle is OP.
You can stack up damage really nicely on him with the decimating smash, and you can play it long enough range that you never should get clapped. But we're not really seeing that. Instead, we're going to see a dive here at level 4. Vbon taking aggro. Lexus hits the turret once he's looking for it.
Turret.
Oh no.
Lexus. Oh, buddy.
It's a car crash. It's a tragedy.
It looked like Control Alt Elite would be able to be taken down there, but played it pretty well. Hit on the other side of the turret.
Oh, the combo of Vbon. Oh no. All right, well, that's 2 kills for the turret in top lane.
Yeah.
And maybe something here in mid, because everybody's roaming here, and Winged is not respecting that. And pretty good smiter. That's maybe not the person you want with the kill, but he got it with the auto attack. Teleport back in from Vbon. This is very aggressive. He's level 4 to level 6. Any damage that Control Alt Elite, as long as he doesn't die, can get down is going to be valuable, but he's going to die for some reason.
Oh!
Vbon is taking so many minions. Okay, he's got the Q. It's a shutdown for him.
Yeah, at least he should be able to crash this wave. I think it's a little bit too big for Vbon to actually end up freezing this, so... it's not quite as bad as it could be, but sticking around for that teleport just to trade on some damage is a little bit greedy. Vbon, opting into the fight, despite being down 2 levels, still able to come out on top there just because Scion was so low in HP, and now has a pretty significant CS lead, despite giving up 2 kills to the Scion, with 1 back in his favor as well as 11 CS lead, means that it's much more even than it probably should be. In fact, about 20 gold separates them, so about as even as it gets.
Yeah, more exchanges here in the bottom lane. Doesn't look like anything particularly permanent. Kind of interesting, the Berserker Greaves rush for Ranger.
Yeah,
He also bought more health pots.
well, it's for, all that poke damage that Kaisa and Thresh are gonna do. Yeah. Lexus just peeking in, letting them know that he was there. Be like, hey guys, I'm gonna go do Dragon. You did anything? No? Okay. He just backs up. Should be able to pick that one up as the bot lane of CPS not gonna be able to rotate in time. Warhead might look for this. Cheeky Steel has flash available.
Yeah.
RTM looks like they're pulling it out.
Scion has teleport, but Vbon does not on the Ornn. So we could see the Scion come down and join. They could 4v5 it if they really wanted to scrap, but it doesn't look like CPS really wants to at the time. So our team going to grab the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, able to pick that one up pretty free there as they, just taking full advantage of the pressure they had in their lanes. Pretty good smiter. Walking pretty far up there. Definitely acting like he has backup, because right now I don't think that they just win this straight up in the 2v2s, so. RTM respecting the possibility of Trundle being here. Not immediately taking him up on that fight. But yeah.
Yeah, tank gameplay.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's, everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty good smiter, very low. Exhaust coming through, just for good measure from Hulk. Vbon, meanwhile, very low in the top lane, has to flash away, but the flash follow for Control Alt Elite gets a solo kill for the Scion. He's 3-1 now. So that's kind of scary.
Pretty well played fight there by the Scion. Held the decimating smash until after Vbon got a little bit antsy and ended up using his bellowing breath to try and unstoppable the knockup. But yeah,
Yeah,
able to come
Boar's
out on
still looking
top.
for this into melee range on the Braum, but it just doesn't matter. He'll get stunned now as Ranger continuing to wail away with these auto attacks. The heal from Boar was just enough for the bait, and he'll get the double kill. Flashes over
Oh,
the wall to avoid the Kog'Maw passive, and that's a really nice double kill for Boar. Is Lexus going to go for the play? He shouldn't. He's going to go for it. Bard ult over the wall, or Braum, somebody ulted over the wall. One of the characters in this game. Winged is in. He's got the Soul Shackles available. Gonna pop that one. Can he actually stay alive through all of that? The Petrosite burst starting to add up. It's an immediate double kill as Vbon finally able to get into it. Elfire, the only one left alive. Zombie Scion almost finds a double kill. He gets one, and one more auto onto Lexus would have been enough, but it's a 2-for-1, and I believe Morgana is the one that wound up with the Rift Herald. And
yeah,
she's
Morgana
gonna
is.
go commit ankle scooter here, it looks like.
Yeah, she somehow is the one who also ended up securing the kill despite two junglers there. Was able to pick that up, but Wing Nation going in solo there. Lexus had flashed out, and just as Wing Nation goes in, able to get a 3-man Morgana ult and pick up a couple of kills there. Pretty well played um, in that skirmish now. RTM looking at a 2K gold lead, and a lot of that is coming from the spot lane, of course, with Boar 3-0-0, has a 15 CS lead. We saw that fight in the bot lane. It looked like Ranger might be able to trade it back, but Boar able to just barely come out on top and limp away with a few HP, flash out of the Kog'Maw passive, and it's just a tragedy here in the bot lane for CPS. Couple games in a row of just domination here by RTM.
Yeah, Lexus and Hulk gonna find the 3-man squad from CPS. They're still looking for it.
Oh,
Ooh, the pillar, not quite enough to knock Hulk away as he gets the death sentence. Pretty good Smiter trying to use that stand behind me to get some distance. Oh, the Braum shield's backwards.
oh
Just not
no.
gonna matter as Lexus takes him down.
Yeah,
Oh,
RTM.
the hook
Ooh.
lands onto Elfire. He brings Winged with him into melee range. The Soul Shackles, though, doing a lot of damage. Hulk is going to fall to the damage from the puddle. They'll tear through the Trundle and now turn onto the Morgana as Lexus into melee range. He's got the Bear Slap. He's got the Tiger damage. He's got a lot of animals burning down Elfire. And the Abduct going to finish that one off for Winged.
Yeah, and from the engages the last game, the perfect Bard ults to this game, a couple of hooks there in a row. Hulk has just had an absolutely monstrous series here. Doing such a great job at setting his team up for success. 0-1-5 now, has the Mobies, so could be looking for roams around.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
that Winged wins this one. The Unstoppable, oh my god. Well, you
it
know,
was, he almost, it was close.
yeah.
Kind, no, maybe not. Um, yeah, control to lead is now 5-2-0 on the Scion. Is a very big boy. Is sort of the one shining hope here for CPS right now.
Was Hulk trying to flay Shelly out of her charge? Can you do that?
You cannot do that.
Okay.
It'd be pretty awesome if you did do that though. Yeah,
Like, I know you
Shelly,
can't Bard ult her, but you can Bard ult the turret. And
mhm.
that's about as much as I've got in terms of being able to stop Shelly with a champion ability.
There's something else that you can do. I can't think of it right now, but I've definitely seen something else interrupt her, so she'll just walk up.
Yeah, they're collapsing on this bottom lane. Lexus and Winged in. Ranger in a lot of trouble. Has to flash away. Abduct not quite going to land. There's some damage finally from the Chain Lash, and Boar picks up 2 kills very quickly. Nice double kill for RTM. The Acathian surprise not enough to finish off Winged. And Vbon just making some items, hanging out
Yeah.
around this dragon. And they'll be able to grab the second one of the game for free.
CPS bot lane just falling asleep a little bit, pushing all the way up with no vision to protect them, and great collapse there from ROTM means that they're able to pick up the kills, pick up this second dragon uncontested here.
Yeah, Wing
Oh,
looking for Elfire. Dark Binding gonna land onto him, just continuing to scrap his way through. The Soul Shackle popped, and Elfire will be able to walk out to help Warhead and Control Ult Elite headed there. But now they'll get a little cheeky rotation into top lane, maybe to trade this turret back. this is kind of weird. This is just a goon squad for RTM. They've got 4 members here looking for the 2 from, or the 3, excuse me, from CPS. They'll find Warhead to start off the fight. He's got the ult ticking. Somewhere Board just solo kills the Kog'Maw on the bottom lane. And yeah, RTM can seemingly do no wrong here through the mid game.
Yeah, everywhere that CPS walks, they're just giving over free kills. I don't know how Ranger 24 ends up walking up just a bit too far there and dying to Boar. I can't imagine opting into a fight with a 701 Kaisa. You know, you see the finished Kraken Slayer already in the inventory for him. Ooh, B-Bomb? Might get chased down here.
Yeah, V-Bon in a little bit of trouble.
Oh.
Oh my god, he flashes over the lantern to go back to it to avoid the Scion ult. Wing's still in, they're looking for it. They take down the Braum, and now it's just going to be, can they beat the Scion to death before he beats them all to death? He finds one so far. Control ult elite, very tanky. He finds a double kill, looking for the triple, the heal from the Kingmaker, or the King Slayer, excuse me, from Winged. He's burning down, but it's not quite enough from that Sunfire Cape. And now Zombie Scion chasing him down. Lexus just going to walk in and stun him, and his job is done.
Yeah, and despite a really well-played moment there by V-Bon, using the flash to just barely get around the Scion ultimate and then Lantern out, Control to lead is just so strong at this point. He's able to still trade back a couple of kills. 7-3-0 now. Ooh. It's a little scary, but Board doesn't have the Collector yet, so not going to be able to take down Elfire.
What is Ranger building? Is that a Wit's End first item?
That looks like a Wit's End. There's a lot of magic damage on the side of RTM. Like, everyone's dealing magic damage. So it's not a bad item.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just
very
kind
far
of a
behind.
bad
It's
item.
just rough regardless, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking for the engage. Oh, that ult not quite going to be able to knock up Hulk. He's able to get around the side of the rock formation. I don't have a better word for that. Boar just kiting back away. Control delete. Maybe a little overextended to start off that fight. The teleport in from V-Bon as he'll call in the Hammer Boy bouncy time. He gets a big double knock up onto the 2 carries. He's going to fall, but the fight going pretty well for ROTM. The last real person alive gets taken down. It's a triple kill for Lexus and a double kill for Wing. They find the full house, and now with 4 alive, they can look... I mean, at this mid tower and a Rift Herald, I guess. I was going to say a Baron, but we're apparently only 15 and a half minutes in at 31 kills.
Yeah, no, not quite Baron time yet. Oh, Hulk. Scumbag Hulk. I take back everything I said. He just took the crab. But Control to Elite was feeling really strong after the last fight. Ends up going a little bit too far forward, and doesn't matter how strong you are. This 704 now Kaisa with 2 completed items does a pretty good job of shredding him down. Yeah, RTM just so far ahead at this point. Has the 8k gold lead, the 11 kills in their favor. They pick up that mid turret. They pick up the Rift Herald. And they're just commandingly in the lead here.
So you're CPS, right?
Yeah.
You obviously need time to scale and get your Kog'Maw some items.
Agreed.
That's obvious. How do you find that time and space for your Kog'Maw to farm up?
So Kog'Maw needs to quit solo pushing against Boar, because that's not going very well. Kog'Maw needs people around him just to create space for him. I think you just funnel literally everything into him. You know, you give him all the jungle camps, you give him as many waves as possible, just try and get as much gold into him. And from like just a pure team comp perspective, nobody should ever be able to actually get onto Kog'Maw. Like, if Kog'Maw gets 3 items, he should be able to just solo carry this game. You know, it's just a matter of CPS actually getting to that point.
Oh, walking in for this dragon, maybe not what you want to see, although Hulk trying to kite back out. They're kiting toward V-Bon. He calls in the horn. He's going to get a really thick ult if he's able to live long enough, but he isn't. It's a double kill for the Trundle, and this might be the fight that CPS were looking for. Winged caught inside. It's another trade kill, but it's a triple kill for Trundle, of all people. Lexus trying to kite back away, dodges out of the Dark Binding, and he'll be able to run out with his bear stance. So they find a fight win. They're going to get a dragon off of this. unfortunately, all of those kills went onto Warhead.
Yeah, not ideal, though any sort of a fight that you're getting at this point that's stalling the game out is good for you. Oh, Control Delete. Take a little bit of a greedy path there, but you had the backup, so didn't have to worry too much, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, ROTM, Hulk and Vbon just not in the right place, didn't have the necessary backup to be able to contest that, and end up throwing quite a bit of pressure there. Oh,
Oh,
Hulk?
oh,
Oh
he thought that
no.
Warhead would react, and he just didn't. Didn't see Hulk there, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Vbon continuing to scrap out with the top laner. He shouldn't win that, but I guess with some friends in his back pocket, the exhaust is enough, and Boar is legendary. The zombie Scion might be able to beat him down. He's got the ultimate back away, though, so Boar going to live through that. He finds his 8th kill of the game. Uh, Somehow he just picks up 1 billion kills on Kai'Sa. I just remember me being, top laner playing with Boar. There was just one game I was off doing my own thing. He just snipes a kill with his W, and I just hear Kai'Sa's voice quote, just "That's 23," and I was just like, when did he get 23 kills? That what? Um, Also pretty
Yeah.
cool that Kai'Sa has voice lines for the number of kills that she gets, so that's kind of neat.
I am impressed every time that I play Kai'Sa that she just keeps counting. And that I have not gotten to a point yet where she just no longer counts. I don't know how high it actually goes, but I am impressed every time. But ROTM looks like they're setting up around this Baron. It spawns in 15 seconds. You have the Kraken Slayer. You should be able to just start it at any point that you want to. And I'm not sure that CPS can do a whole lot to contest it. Oh,
The big damage over the wall from
a little
Alfire.
bit of poke, but yeah, the rest of our team has already started this up, and CPS is just nowhere near. Not going to be able to make it in time. This is going to be a free Baron going over to RTM, so we'll
They're
see how much
pinging.
they're able to
They
get for it.
spot him out. They really shouldn't contest. Yeah.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have even come over. Is probably the likely scenario, but now it's way too late. So they'll back up. Control Alt Delete might be able to get that turret on the bottom side, so that'll be their first turret of the game. Should he be able to knock that down?
You got something going in their favor. And still a couple waves getting onto Kog'Maw. Should be getting close to second item. Um, maybe Hurricane, maybe Phantom Dancer. Some attack speed option.
Yeah, looks like he's still about 1,000 gold away, so still a ways off from that. But RTM wasting no time, setting back up with their Baron buff. Vbon in the bottom lane, the 4-man squad sitting in mid, and this is looking eerily similar to what happened last game. Wayne has stolen the Trundle ultimate, so he'll be very tanky for a brief amount of time.
Yeah. In this bot lane, though, this time around, I don't know if Vbon will be able to expend as much pressure as we otherwise might want to see from a split pushing top laner with Baron. It's actually getting some pretty good trades. Oh.
Yeah, the Baron minions
Summoner
equalize
spell.
things pretty well. They do some chunky damage, whether you want to or not. The flash forward for the hook from Hulk, trying to find everything. They're on to Ranger. He's low. Auto attacks from Boar. Boar is legendary, just layering in those autos. I really like the way he's weaving in and out. The Kog'Maw passive equalizes onto Hulk, but it's not going to matter as the rest of the team falls. Wing finishes off the last 2 kills. Vbon and Control Alt Elite, importantly, not in that fight, and now the Scion trying to finish off anything that he can, but it's the Bud Light ace for Return of the Middle Sticks, and they should be able to roll these waves into their base.
Yeah, 4 versus 0. Might have been able to push through mid and look to end the game, but with the Scion pickup, head and bot here, probably just going to pick up a couple of inhibitors and be pretty happy with that. Oh, maybe not. Maybe 0 inhibitors.
Yeah, they got the inhibitor turret in mid lane, and that looks like it's going to be it for that particular push. Oh, and they got
It is just 22 minutes in the game.
Yeah, we're
so,
very quick.
Yeah, short death timers, so I'll play a little bit safer, not one to stick around and end up throwing the lead, which makes quite a bit of sense here. Spend your money and then walk back because we have a dragon spawning here in 15 seconds. It's the Earth Drake, so if our team's able to pick this up, it will put them on Soul Point, pressuring that in here in just a few minutes. But Lexus is a big boy. He has the Elixir of Iron.
Yeah, our team just so fantastically ahead in this game. Like 3 items on Boar and Winged, compared to 1.5 on the Morgana, like 1.5 on Trundle. Cog is finally finished 2, but still a ways away from that big 3 item spike.
Yeah, you'd like to see him, maybe pick up a Mythic at some point, maybe a Rage Blade, maybe anything. Because right now, those aren't the 2 highest DPS items in the world. How do you feel about Lexus going Lichbane?
Um,
Oh?
at this point, unless they start to really chain throw, should be fine. But this is kind of how it starts, right? Vbon gonna look like he's getting picked if they can eventually track him down. A lot of stuff is happening. There's 2 Scion ults that just happened. They're just in the bottom lane fighting each other. That hook, though, going to land on to Elfire. Doesn't have the Black Shield available. There's the Black Shield way too late as the rest of ROTM just tearing through the base. Winged actually killed Control Ult Elite in the bottom lane, but Boar's the only one left in the base now trying to kite back away. Silas is here, but he's only about half health. Ranger is very strong. If he can stand there and auto attack for any length of time with the Bioarcane Barrage up. But Boar and Winged still trying to kite back away. Maybe wait for that Kog'Maw W to come off. Winged is in. He steals the Trundle ult. They just blow up that Kog'Maw. He's gone. Winged is going to fall to the Acathian surprise. Boar into melee range of the Braum, and that's not exactly the best place to be. So it's going to be not an ace. Vbon just respawned. Never mind.
Yeah, and CPS were able to get the pick onto Vbon, but while they were doing it, the rest of our team able to pick up the inhibitor mid, as well as Wing Nation getting the 1v1 kill bot lane. So even when things are going well for CPS, they're still losing the rest of the map. Though it's quite a few kills going in their favor. Ooh, this is the tank Kog'Maw build. Ends up picking up the Randuins here. I feel
So
like if you're the only damage source on your team, maybe you build damage. Maybe you rely on Morgana and Braum and Sion to create space for you. Because I don't know if you're ever going to have enough damage to win a fight if your Kog'Maw's building tank.
yeah, that's about what I was going to say. I'm sure there's merits to the build, but I don't think when you're the
Yeah,
sole damage dealer, that's one of them. Oh, Boar's getting the Worm Fallen Sacrifice. There we go.
yeah, definitely seen the build do pretty good things. It's just in this case, within this team composition, I don't know if you're, especially against the enemy team composition, they should just not be able to get onto you. I mean, unless you're solo split pushing bottom lane for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah,
in that case, maybe, the Randuin's bottom an extra couple seconds. So that's something.
yeah, for sure. Baron's up in 5 seconds, so that's nice. Winged has teleport to rejoin.
And CPS without their Kog'Maw, who is for some reason solo split pushing bot lane, will not be able to contest this at all. And ROTM with the Baron up, with the numbers, we'll see how much they're able to get. Naked inhibitor bottom. Top lane still has their inhibitor turrets, so a little bit more difficult to push in, but probably going to be a pretty big target here. RTM taking the recalls, spending their money, and then we'll see how they want to set up here. Vbon still out on the map, has the Ornn pass, is able to buy things, so doesn't need a recall just yet. Though being the only person out on the map could be a little bit scary. You could be a target to be taken down. Though with Kog'Maw in the bottom lane, I don't know if even with all 4 of the other members of CPS together, they'd actually be able to take down Vbon in, anything resembling good time.
Yep, Winged set up on that bottom lane. It's kind of 1-3-1, although R3 is rotating through the jungle as we speak to set up a 4 up in the top lane and try to knock down this last standing inhibitor turret. Ranger just clearing this one out as he can on the Bima.
Yeah.
And there's a Scion ultimate. They're looking for that engage. Slams right into Vbon to start off the fight. He's getting burned down by that by the Trundle ultimate as well. They'll finish off V-Bond to start it off, but now gets traded back as Braum has fallen, but in comes Wing, just a huge burst of damage. Ranger was too far forward, and Boar is able to make him pay along with Wing Nation. Just so much damage coming through from the two carries from ROTM. They'll trade double kills. They'll fight Zombie Scion to death. It's another ace for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, you're going to be able to take this one down as CPS look for the engage. They had the numbers advantage, but unfortunately it was onto the Ornn, and they just don't have enough damage to actually punch through him. Wing Nation able to teleport over, and ROTM able to just sweep the rest of the fight. A pretty clean, commanding victory here. As both of these games, they were very far ahead at pretty much every point in the game.
Yeah, matching 14 kill games for Winged and Boar, so pretty dominant. You know, Lexus only died twice the entire series. One of them was that top lane dive. I don't want to roast him for
Yeah,
that,
that
but
was
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, Ranger's building a Rage Knife, so like he's just gonna build a Mythic
So he's
6th
going
item.
Rage Blade. I mean, who needs a mythic? Mythics are overrated,
Yeah, they don't
right?
multiply
What's
your
the point
damage.
of a mythic, really? It gives you the mythic passive, but that passive is based on the amount of other items you have, right? So it's useless unless you have other items. So he's buying the
True.
other items first. That way, he's not wasting any efficiency.
Regardless, it's a dominating win for Return of the Middle Sticks. They improved to 4-0 on the season, looking pretty good thus far. Now a big test this week. They're facing off against the Legends Unicorns, um, so that should be big. They're 3-1 thus far, and excited to see that. The gold team, who we didn't see, they're going to be live on stream on Wednesday, taking on. I wrote the team name down and then I forgot it. No, 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 no. Team Momus. I don't know.
Okay.
But let's support our boys on stream Wednesday night at 7 Central, as per usual. And now we're going to take a break, and then we're going to have the Cosmic Flow series for the week. So should be some good memes. Oh, and if you want to play Fantasy LCS, sign up for it, because Lane needs people. Don't make me have to play.
Are you gonna roll him?
I think I've got third the 2 seasons I've played both times, so.
That's pretty good.
Alright, what the fuck are these teams? I have no recollection of what this team is called. Falcons Esports Club, that's right.
Falcons esports, huh?
Feck. Yeah.
Ah, feck.
Oh, the Fecking Esports Club. That's probably really mean. I'm sorry if there's any Falcons in the chat. Alright, you ready?
I am ready.
Alright, well, here we are. Game number 1, Cosmic Flow versus the Falcons Esports Club. Yeah, let's just do it if you're ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
You can even start it.
Yeah, on the bottom side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars, we have C-Flow, Cardinals 29 top lane on the Wukong, UNSC playing the Lisa in jungle, Black Salt on the Swain mid, and then Cockman Suda and Dislikes on the Kaisa and Leona bottom lane.
And on the top side of the Rift, wearing the red health bars for game number 1, is going to be the Falcons esports club. RHC in the top lane playing Ornn. Beshiwap? Bishiwap? Beshiwap, I think. In the jungle playing Volibear. Camel Basil? Camel Basil? In the mid lane playing Yone. Aliot on the Lulu gets caught a little bit and has to flash, and he's playing that along with Paytime in the bottom lane, or Paytim 3 on the Tristana.
I think that's right. I think it's paid him 3. Yeah. Already pretty aggressive starts here from Seaflow. We saw on the top side they pushed in to get that ward on the Rays. Always love to see teams do that, but then also doing a pretty good job of sort of pinchering onto Aliot there in the bottom river. Able to burn a flash, which against Leona, if you're burning your flash as the Lulu, it can be pretty scary in this lane, especially since your lane partner, Tristana, can't not push. Right? If you lose the level 2 push, you might be in trouble. And even if you win it, you're going to be pushed up the whole time without flash. It could be a little bit scary, especially with UNSC starting on the top side of the rift. Going to be pathing down towards there, so
Yeah,
definitely something to keep an eye on.
Also kind of interesting that Aliot didn't take a recall to heal up. So starting at a little health disadvantage. Like, it's not a huge amount, but you had the time. Like, wasn't necessary for anything to wait around. So I don't know why you wouldn't take that recall in that situation.
If you recall, then the terrorists win. I mean, it's just you're not allowed to, frankly.
Are Seaflow
Ooh.
terrorists?
Any enemy is a terrorist. I think in this analogy, it would just be like your enemy. The other person wins.
All right. Well, CT's getting pushed in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
And level 2 hit, but no Zenith Blade there for Dyslexic.
Yeah, pretty good dodge there by Aliot. Without the flash, it could have been really scary, but able to just barely avoid a pretty scary situation there. Gonna be able to just farm that wave under turret, hit level 2 for free. So.
Yeah, Cardinals with a pretty good shove as well. Black Salt shoving in mid. This should open up a lot of opportunities for UNSC to contest some Scuttle Crabs, to do the things that Lee Sin wants to do early on, which is exciting. Lee's always a fun champion to watch and see how they react, although Black Salt taking a little bit of damage from the Death Defied passive? No, that's his ult. I don't know. I'm going to stop making it up. The Soul passive from Camel Basil.
Yeah.
That is how you spell Basil, guy. Right? I'm not just.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as Yone matchups go, usually pretty good into mages, especially ones without consistent targeted abilities.
Oh, they've caught Beshiwap. The shove in is going to find first blood for Dyslexic. UNSC is here as well. They're going to pull in Camel Basil. A little bit of miscommunication there, but it's not going to matter as UNSC finds the kill. So big collapse from Seaflow, nets them 2 to start off.
And that's just so greedy from Beshiwap. His bot lane is completely pushed in. His mid lane doesn't actually have pressure, is on the cooldown. And he still walks into river to try and contest that crab. And a really good roam up from the Seaflow bottom lane means that they're able to pick up a couple of kills. One of them going on to Dyslexic and then one on to UNSC is pretty good here.
And
it
Dyslexic
looks like
using those double buffs to his advantage onto Aliot. No flash, remember, is Kakmansuda just going to trade back onto Paytime a little bit. And yeah, that's another good trade. And because of the red buff, Dyslexic's going to heal up a lot off of that.
That first red buff doesn't heal, actually.
Oh, well, never mind. I'm just a bad analyst.
No, you're not. But Bishwai Wop is in a pretty interesting position here. Didn't try to contest the top crab, which was the correct play. Instead, looking for this gank onto Cardinals. If Cardinals walks a little bit too far forward, could be really scary, though this wave positioning makes it really hard to believe that...
A good decoy, actually, is going to get him out to safety. UNSC, in his back pocket, could go ahead and use the safeguard over if he needed to try to save his monkey friend. And Zenith Blade not quite going to connect there onto Paytime, so he'll rocket jump away.
And this gank from Beshiwap, it was an interesting look, but he invested so much time into it that being able to just not get anything off of it means that, even with as far behind as you would be for dying once, he's just even further behind now. Has the death, is 3 camps behind the Lee Sin, who doesn't exactly
Oh.
clear the most quickly. It's a very bad position to be in as, a champion that doesn't scale very well is this Volibear.
Yep, Dyslexic and Cockmansuda still looking aggressively in this bottom lane. Aliot, you can see how far back the Lulu is playing, and now does have the flash back up, so could start to look maybe a little bit more aggressively, but so much respect being paid by Paytime and Aliot.
Yeah, and you kind of need to. Because any amount of CC landed from Dyslexic means you're going to take a shitload of damage from the Kaisa passive, so it's a little bit scary. Ooh. Good trade there by Black Salt. This is not an easy matchup here, as your abilities are very difficult to land. Oh, but the roam down from Cardinals could mean that Yone gets engaged on.
Yeah, Cardinals in with
Oh,
the decoy. It's going to force the flash out of Camel Basil, so he's, potentially going to feel that one a little bit. But nice timing there from Cardinals. Gets the Summoner spell out of the mid laner, and going to open up the Dragon for UNSC.
yeah, and the most important thing about burning the Yone flash is just that he's not able to play aggressively without his E available. The only time he's able to play forward is when he activates his E. Um, just because otherwise, if somebody's there, he'll just die instantly. So, pretty massive play there to relieve a lot of pressure that otherwise would be put onto Black Salt.
Yeah, I also really like what Black Salt's doing. Every time that Camel Basil goes in with the Soul, you'll see Black Salt try to time it up. He uses his W back on where he's going to snap back to. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
He's been playing that little mind game, but yeah.
trying to get the passive stacks. That's pretty good.
Get that extra 5 health.
It adds up. Cardinals doing a pretty good job in this lane of not pushing up unnecessarily. Dodging that gank earlier, and this time around, yeah. Oh,
Oh, does
doesn't
take a
end up.
clap and damage. It's hard because
This
you want to stay in for the trades as Wukong, but Ornn makes sure that you can't, and now flashes away the clap. The Bellows Breath is enough. It's a solo kill for RHC in the top lane.
Really well played there by RHC. And we saw Cardinals just hold the decoy for so long, but he kept walking up and trying to contest the wave, trying to shove it in. And RHC doing a really good job of trading that damage back, able to find the ultimate and find that solo kill. Really well played.
Yeah, and it's so hard as the Wukong. Normally your big damage starts to come through after you hit your Q. You shred armor, and then you stack up your Conqueror, so you do true damage on top of shredding. Like, you get a lot of extra bonus hidden damage after that point. But Ornn kind of incentivizes you not to do that when he's got his big combo up front with his clap. So it's a tougher lane to navigate for the Wukong.
Yeah, and even worse is that there's a Volibear waiting for him when he comes back to the lane, so he is going to be collapsed on UNS. He's in the neighborhood, but we'll see if he makes it in time.
Yeah, Cardinals
Because
has the
right now it's
Cyclone
scary.
available, gets knocked up though into the Sky Splitter, trying to flash away to his jungler, but it's just not going to matter now. Kind of wants to hide that UNSC is doing the Rift Herald, and it looks like Beshiwap's going to be happy with the kill, and we'll see if he even walks by. UNSC still just doing the Rift Herald.
Yeah, looks like he was able to pick it up, but a really great gank there by Beshiwap. Knew the timing, had the patience.
Pulling in Camel Basil. A little bit of damage. The Crippling Strike. The Flash Kick from UNSC, but he's got the Death Defied back out. Can they actually take him down? The Bird Bomb isn't enough, and the Claw not quite going to connect there from Black Salt. A lot of abilities back and forth, but unfortunately for Seaflow, not able to find the kill at the end of that.
Yeah, Camel Basil just able to dodge enough of them to be able to walk away, and it's Flash expended from UNSC, and no Summoners expended in return. I suppose the Ignite came down from Camel Basil, but otherwise, not exactly ideal for your first Lee Sin ult as well as your flash of the game. But either way, it did end up picking up that Rift Herald, so at some point in the next couple minutes, we'll see where he wants to put that down to try and pick up some plate gold and accelerate the team here. As right now, this game very even. Right now, 2-2 in kills, 400 gold lead is all for ROTM, so very close. But not close as this top lane, where RHC has a pretty significant lead, and we saw there when it peaked up that wave frozen outside of his turret range. Though with the Bomby Cinder, not going to be able to freeze it forever. So it's not doomed for Cardinals. It just looks doomed.
Yep, it's gonna be a little rough for a while. He can't even walk in for that cannon minion. Good buffer there by pay time. Make sure that he'll be able to jump out, and everything gonna stay relatively even. UNSC looks like he's here to shove just to try to drop that Rift Herald in, but Bashiwap is here. They could look for a 3v3 play if they want to. They've got Black Salt roaming down, though, if you're Seaflow. Bashiwap looking for the engage. Not going to be able to find anything, as now Shelly is dropped directly into that tower range. She's going to get the charge off, just barely, it looks like. Oh, they're in. I don't know what's going on now. In the top lane, RHC and Cardinals are fighting. The Ornhorn coming through, trying to knock up Cardinals. In the bottom lane, though, Kakme and Suda layering in some damage. Bashiwap falls as Black Salt is able to join. And it's, 1-for-1 cross map, and Seaflow gonna look to continue. Well, they're not gonna push in. They're gonna look for this dragon. It looks like in 10 seconds.
Directed camera kind of trolling us as we saw Paytime jump in and insect somebody with the Tristana ultimate. Oh no,
Camel
Cockman
Basil
Suda.
looking for the assassination. Hits the Death Defied. Has the jump back if he needs it, and he'll find the assassination onto Cockman Suda. RHC's teleported in. Black Salt buying a little bit of time. Has the Bird Bomb charged up. They get Cardinals in as well. He doesn't have Cyclone though, so it's not as impactful as normal, but the finish off there for UNSC. They're continuing to layer through. Alien is going to fall. Paytime and Camel Basil forced back underneath their turret. Bashiwap hanging around in the wings, though. They could look for the re-engage, although they're down a man still. 3v4 on the map currently, with Cockman Suda just now respawning, and it looks like it'll be a Seaflow Dragon.
Yeah, and it looked really good for the red side there as Camel Basil got a really great Yone ult in. We saw RHC, who we know is just so strong, teleport in, but Seaflow doing a good job of kiting it out, playing the fight well, and are able to come out on top and swing back the gold lead now. Nearly 2k in their favor. Picking up that first dragon is very good for them. Really well played by Seaflow.
Yeah, so still relatively even in kills, but that 2,000 gold lead starting to stack up a little bit. Most of it, kind of like we saw in the last series, is going to be a mid-jungle. You have a little bit of extra on Cockman Suda as well to kind of negate the big disadvantage in the top lane that RHC and Cardinals have accrued themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Just taking a look at the inventories, it's UNSC actually is able to finish the first mythic of the game, has the Gore Drinker, so it's pretty strong here at this point in the game. Interesting to see the mid laner and AD carry. Ooh,
that
once
Solar
again.
Flare buffered again by Paytime as Cardinals looking for Camel Basil in the mid lane. Does he have any backup? It looks like he's kind of in by himself right now, just trying to make something happen. Maybe getting a little bit frustrated at the way top lane is going, but not going to be able to find anything worthwhile there that time.
Yeah, and the whole time RHC's just pushing up, is getting a lot of damage here. UNSC's in the area. We'll see if he's able to make much happen.
Yeah, gets the slow with the crippling strike, getting a little bit of damage down, just layering in those autos, waiting. There's the unstoppable coming out, so now he's got the kick. He'll jump forward. Cardinals looking for that damage, and he'll finish him off with the bop. So good kill by UNSC and Cardinals as they stop RHC from split pushing any further and maybe try to equalize that a little bit for Cardinals. Although now they have to be worried about the bottom lane as Bashiwap walking in, but Cockman Suda and Dyslexic already have backed off, so nicely done.
Yeah, it could be a little bit scary. Bashiwap has the ultimate available to turn off the turret. We'll see if they look to force this underneath the turret. Looks like just looking for a crowd camp instead is much safer. Diving a Leona, even with the turret off, can still be pretty scary. So taking the safer route. Is UNSC gonna find a Lulu in his jungle? Oh, and a bear. Oh no.
Yeah, walks directly into a bear, unfortunately. A lot of damage coming through. Gets knocked up by the wild growth. Now Dyslexic trying to help him out. Cockman Suda dashes in. He'll try to get back underneath the turret, but gets shut down by Bashiwap. Black Salt is here. Pops the ultimate, the Demonic Ascension, ticking up. Gets a big ultimate, but now the Death Defied from Camel Basil looking for it, but Cardinals has joined the fray. Camel Basil snaps back. They find one. He'll group up the rest of them. Bashiwap finishes off another kill, but the Yone falls in the process, and Cardinals and Dyslexic will power through. It's a triple kill for Cardinals.
Pretty massive of Cardinals, who, you know, has been having a really rough time here in the top lane, but every single time that he leaves that lane and teleports somewhere else is just having so much more of a map-wide impact than RHC, doing a really good job of keeping his team in it, because that fight was a little bit scary. As it started out with UNSC getting caught out, had some pretty good moves, was very tricky with his movement, but still ends up dropping down. And uh, Seaflow once again just keeping that gold lead. It's not a whole lot, 1.5k in their favor. It's very close, but maintaining at this point. Oh,
Oh. Ooh, Cockman
yeah,
Suda, he doesn't have the ultimate. I thought that he was maybe looking to go in for that solo kill, but still might look for it. Pay time very low. Cockman Suda trying to chase him down, but not quite going to be able to find that amount of damage that he needs.
yeah, but this Kaisa very strong
Ooh,
in pay time,
all right.
giving a lot of respect to it. UNSC able to pick that up, which is gonna be pretty big. Dragon spawn here in just a minute, so the extra bit of vision that cannot be cleared is always pretty good. Seaflow will be happy to have it. Pushing in for vision now, so they're going to be the ones who have control of the pit once this spawns. 50 seconds on that. Karkman Suda once again on this ward. Oh,
Oh, that's a huge chunk of damage. They're even going to commit a little bit more for Betchy-Wop. He's low. The Solar Flare trying to stun him up. UNSC has to invest the Dragon's Rage, but they do finish off the pick, so no jungler on the map for 28 seconds for Falcon Esports Club, and that means that the Dragon should almost certainly go to Seaflow, as maybe looking for a little bit more. The Flash, oh, not quite able to find that, was dyslexic, as Camel Basil had enough. Camel Basil? When am I European going for the Basil,
yeah, was wondering. Oh, Cardinals is going to have the teleport coming up, so we'll be able to join. This will be 5 versus 4 in favor of Seaflow. Black Salt actually looking for a recall as well, also has the teleport, but it does mean that Beshuop's going to be able to get here in time. So an even 5 versus 5 around this dragon could be a pretty significant
Well,
fight.
Cockman
Cockman
Suda
Suda.
might get caught. He's able to dash back away. The disengaging Buster Shot actually helping him out just a little bit, but now that's down. Pay time and Cockman Suda both about half health. Everybody grouped up in the pit. RHC using the Ornhorn. It's a very split fight. The Dragon goes the way of FEC, but Black Salt is in. He's in the Zanya's, just giving him the suck very slowly. Camel Basil low, gets taken down finally, but Cockman Suda gets traded out, and it's a very even fight thus far. Now Aliot, the big target for Seaflow. It's a double kill for Cardinals, as there's still such a messy fight. A lot of damage coming through from Pay time as they'll finish off Black Salt. UNSC trying to scrap with the last bit of his health, but it just doesn't matter. And Falcon Esports Club gets the Dragon, and they get 4 kills.
It feels like just waste of an opportunity there for Seaflow. They had the numbers, they had the positioning, but they take a couple of late recalls, they teleport in
Well,
so late. RHC ends up giving a kill back for no reason, but Seaflow were in position to just pick up that dragon, but spent a little bit too long before actually trying to force the issue. The Falcons are able to get everyone there and come out on top, pick up the dragon, pick up the kills, and close this gold lead just a little bit.
yeah, so as a result of that fight, you can see the first mythic items starting to really come through for pretty much everybody. Kind of interesting, though, is that Camel Basil has opted for a bunch of component for items. I'm assuming that he's going for the Immortal Shield Bow, but picked up a stop for a Zeal on the way.
Yeah, the extra crit is always nice on, Yone Yasuo, who double their crit chance, so picking that up early isn't the worst thing in the world, but it is an interesting split. It does mean that this mythic is very delayed, going to be the last person in the game, perhaps even behind Elliot. Maybe not Elliot, but otherwise, not the earliest mythic in the world.
Yep, Pay time and Aliot gonna have to zip out of the bottom side of the fight, dodging out Eye of Sauron as well. And yeah, kind of interesting. Baron spawning here in 10 seconds. I don't think that either team can really lay claim to that one, and we're headed into a much longer game than we had in our first series of the day.
Yeah, definitely not quite as commanding a lead. Still very close,
Pay
very
time
much.
looking for it. The Ornhorn gonna get called in by RHC. Just gonna knock out Black Salt underneath this turret. Force the ultimate out, so you know, you'll take a 1-for-1 ultimate trade, although Black Salt may be looking for a little bit more as UNSC in the wings, although Dyslexic and Cockman Suda found Camel Basil. They'll find that assassination, and that looks pretty good. Now Beshi Wap trying to chase Cardinals off with his top lane tower that he's been coveting, I think, for most of the game.
Yeah, but at this point, Cardinals is 7-3-2, has 2 completed items. This isn't the scared little monkey that died so many times in lane, 10 minutes ago. He's been picking up a lot of kills. He's very strong right now. I don't think Beshiwap wants that fight.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting the way that they've isolated these lanes. It's been Black Salt versus RHC on the bottom side, which you would think would be Camel Basil versus Cardinals, but instead they've kind of left Cardinals on his own and used Camel Basil mid lane. It looks like now he's finally headed up there.
Yeah, to be fair, Camel Basil did end up getting caught out by the bot lane of Seaflow, so sort of awkward lane assignments there for the Falcons as they, try to compensate for that. But it does mean that Beshiwap picked up quite a bit of farm in the last minute and a half or so.
Do you like these flipped solo lanes for either side? Do you think that favors one side or the other right now?
I don't think that Cardinals wants to fight the Ornn. Despite picking up a lot of items, I don't think that he's ever actually winning that fight. I think that Swain is probably happier in that lane, able to, just farm up passive stacks. So I don't think it's awful. I think it makes sense for Seaflow.
Yeah, Dyslexic positioning aggressively there. Doesn't get caught by the Glitter Lance, importantly. Ooh, over the wall, look at Paytime. He's on top of that ward right now. Dyslexic not going to be able to find a whole lot, though. Gets the stun onto Beshiwap, but that might be what they need. They're going to force that ultimate over the wall. UNSC dives in with a Resonating Strike. I don't think that he really wanted that, but he's back over with the Safeguard. Black Salt doing a lot of damage back over the wall. Cockman Suda sees his moment. He goes in to the backline, gets knocked up, though, tossed around, and he'll be assassinated on the back end. Meanwhile, RHC making his presence known as he's into the backline of Seaflow. This fight is a big mess right now as Camel Basil super low. UNSC not quite able to finish him off on the top side of the fight. Meanwhile, Paytime kiting back away, but Elliot falls to the bird bomb of Black Salt. The Cyclone's still spinning away. RHC very low, gets tugged back in. These health bars so low, but it looks like Falcon Esports just barely coming out. Although UNSC goes in, he'll trade another one. He's trying to find enough, and it all falls for Seaflow. Paytime, the last remaining member of the Falcons alive, and Black Salt and Cardinals look like they're going to be able to go take that dragon.
And the fight just lasted so long. It was so split. It felt like Falcons had a lot of opportunities to come out on top there, but Seaflow had the tankiness, and I think more importantly, the carries for the Falcons. Tristana and Yone just never got a chance to actually DPS in the fight, meaning that, in the long extended fight with the Swain, with the Wukong, Seaflow is able to come out on top there, even with Cockman Suda dying very early in that fight by diving straight into the backline. But Seaflow picking up the kills, opening up the gold lead just a little bit more, but perhaps more importantly, third dragon means that we're looking at Seoul here in just a few minutes. Baron the next big objective on the map, though. Not certain if either team will really want to pull the trigger. If they wanted to, though, the Falcons have the type of team composition that would be able to take it down quickly. It's the double 80 carry composition. You have the tanks, you have the Lulu to buff them up. It's a potential here for them.
Yeah, is the Shurelia's just the default support item right now?
I think so. Ever since the healing one got nerfed. I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
Moonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardinals getting a good trade though. That's looking a lot better for him. He's actually forced RHC back underneath his turret, and they'll be able to pop that bottom lane turret, and they should be able to get mid here before too long. There's just a sliver of health left on that one, and Elliot and Paytime going to have to go ahead and give that one up as well. Paytime can't overextend. He's got to be careful. That Resonating Strike connects onto him. There's no kick flash available though. Just the kick, no flash for UNSC.
UNSC, even if he went in and had the flash available, you would think the Lulu would be able to stop
here.
it.
They get the slow from the Solar Flare. Beshiwap in, just trying to tear through Black Salt. Gets the Wild Growth onto him. Meanwhile, Camel Basil and UNSC scrapping on the top side of the fight. Big Death defied as he's going to group up a couple of members, but there's just no damage really coming through for Falcon Esports. Elliot forced out of the top side of the fight. The W not quite going to find him, getting burned down. UNSC finishes that one off with an auto attack, and Seaflow finds another couple of picks in the jungle, and it just doesn't feel like the damage is there for FEC to be able to finish off any of these targets.
Yeah, FEC, it just seems like Tristana and Yone are just never in a position to actually deal damage. Oh, massive Ornn ult. Not actually going to end up finding anyone, and Seaflow, without much contest, should be able to just pick up this Baron. Yeah, we saw the engage onto the tanky, well, not the tankiest, but Beshiwap is pretty tanky. Was able to survive a long time, but just didn't matter because Seaflow wasn't taking any damage back, or able to pick up the kills, pick up the Baron. We'll see how much they're able to get for it. A lot of outer turrets still available on the map, so a lot to be taken here.
Yeah, Paytime doing his best to shove out these waves along with Camel Basil just to make sure that Seaflow has a little bit farther to push and has to be a little bit slower on their Baron. Looks like it's going to be a 1-3-1 setup with Cardinals and Black Salt set up in those side lanes. UNSC clearing out some jungle camps right now, which, also continuing to slow up this push a little bit, but Cardinals and Black Salt have reached their waves in the side lanes. Looks like they're handing off the red buff to Cockman Suda. That's words in a row with syllables. Another Wormfall and Sacrifice for Paytime. Let's go.
Yeah, this Tristana has two completed items, and with the ornament can do quite a bit of damage. The issue is just a matter of getting into a position in the fight where you're able to deal that damage. Against a champion like Swain, against the Wukong, it can be very difficult. They just create so much space. Oh no.
Oh, Beshiwap in, but Black Salt and UNSC, the only two here. It's a big collapse from FEC. They're trying to buy time, but there's no help really coming for Black Salt and UNSC. They're doing all right in this fight, though. They might be able to finish off Beshiwap. Oh, no, he says no to UNSC, and Black Salt also going to fall.
Aww.
This is a really late teleport coming in from Cardinals, and that's just going to spell his doom as well. I think he took a little bit of damage from Ornn prior to coming in. He'll at least trade that one out as he takes down Camel Basil. Meanwhile, the three-man squad from Seaflow, or two-man squad, I guess, is left over. The bottom lane getting collapsed on in mid. Can RHC actually chase them down? This is going to be a long chase.
No.
I don't think they're going to be able to catch
Yeah,
him.
Seaflow is going to be able to walk away, but pretty massive throw there, and it just seemed like they weren't on the same page there as Black Salt and UNSC were stalling for time. Did a really good job in the fight, but no one was coming for them. The Seaflow bottom lane decided to just push mid. They were able to pick up a turret, and then Cardinals just teleporting in so late. Wasn't certain if he thought he was getting more help or what, but really strange fight there. Means that Seaflow's Baron is going to be stalled out, though Dragon spawning here in just a few seconds means that we might see another fight. Cardinals doesn't have teleport, so Seaflow might be outnumbered here. Could be a little bit scary. A potential throw if they contest.
Yeah, Camel Basil a little bit late as well, but he's there with the squad. Dragon just now getting leashed. No one really doing damage to it, so it looks like Cardinals will be able to get here in time. It'll be the full 5v5. Although that's getting burned down. UNSC and not quite able to get that steal. And now the fight going to break out on the top side. Beshiwap and RHC onto the back line, but Cardinals with a huge Cyclone trying to chase down the bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the front side, Camel Basil going to be the first one to fall as they're just slowly tearing through these tanks. RHC doing his best, but it's not going to matter as it's 3 kills for Seaflow. And Cardinals was able to force the bottom lane out and find the kill onto Paytime. Very important on the top side of the fight.
Just so massive there is FEC was able to pick up the dragon, but they commit to the fight afterwards. Unfortunately for them, Cardinals had enough time to get there and was just so massive at diving straight into the back line, stopping the damage dealers of FEC from actually getting the chance to deal damage. And they're still pushing here. They're looking for the end. It's 12 seconds on Yone. They might be able to just pick this up.
Yeah,
29
Nexus
minutes into the
turrets
game
falling.
off that one fight.
Elliot forced back to the fountain. What can the Lulu do? It looks like nothing, but watch as Nexus fall. UNSC gets the last hit on there with a little bit of style. And Seaflow going to take game number 1.
Yeah, not the cleanest game in the world. It was pretty even throughout most of it, but Cardinals and Black Salt just creating so much space, able to bring out a couple of one team fights, and it's enough for them to take the game there.
Yeah, and the tilt-proof honor going to Cardinals, though. A rough start to the game for him up in that top side. Getting solo killed a couple of times by RHC, but finding that triple kill on his teleport and then stringing that into good fight after good fight on the Wukong, culminating with that big fight at the end where he forced the bottom lane out by himself. So, um, really like the way that he played on the Wukong this game.
Definitely.
All right, we're going to take just a short break. We'll be right back with game number 2, Seaflow on match point, looking to close out Falcon Esports Club. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I don't know if I
Welcome
lost.
back.
Okay. We had 3 crows out in the front yard. It's a sign of some sort.
I generally crows are a bad sign, though, right?
Only if you choose to make them a bad sign, you know?
Is that how signs work?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know if omens necessarily take into account your outlook on them, but maybe.
I don't know that they don't. Think about that. Or don't.
Okay.
You don't have to.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, you ready for some fun League of Legends action?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, welcome back then. Game number 2 between Seaflow and between Seaflow and Falcon Esports Club. Seaflow took game number 1. Pretty well contested contest. God. Anyway,
I
I
agree.
need to stop talking. Let's go. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars, looking to avoid losing, I guess. Their Falcon Esports Club. Paytime is now in the top lane. Playing Silas, Beshi Wap in the jungle on Sejuani, Camel Basil in mid, playing Yone, and then Aliot and RHC in the bottom lane, playing Swain Leona.
And top side of the rift, wearing the red health bars, we have Seaflow looking to close this series out. Cardinals 29 in the top lane on the Renekton. UNSC playing the Olaf jungle. Black Salt playing Victor there in the mid. And then Cockman Suda and Dyslexic on the Callista. and Rel bottom lane. Um, Interesting lane swaps, right?
Yeah.
RHC, who had a pretty good Ornn game, getting relegated to support duty. Elliot deciding that AD carry, or perhaps AP carry, was always his calling. And then Paytime going up in the top lane with the Silas is a lot of interesting decisions there.
Yeah. We'll see how the flex pays off for him. I thought RHC had a good game in top lane. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess down to support, maybe try to get two people ahead rather than one. Maybe that's the strat.
Yeah, so this top lane, Silas Renekton.
Yeah.
Silas top, usually only picked as a counter pick, and I don't feel like Renekton is something that you're countering. I'm pretty sure, ooh, Smite used on blue buff?
Yeah, it was.
Uh, and then skipping golems. How are you hitting level 3 as Beshiwap? Is he going back up to golems?
Ooh, the back up to
Is he
golems and then a
invading?
top lane gank.
He has to either be going top lane or Olaf red. If he does anything other than that, he's just fucking trolling.
Anyway, this is a really fun lane in the bottom lane, by the way. Try it out with your friends. Swain Leona. Leona can walk in, get a stun or a Zenith Blade, and then you can tug him back with Swain and set up the rest of your combo. Really nasty, really fun. Um, Kind of
Oh,
excited to see it. And yeah, here's the top lane gank for Beshiwap. Not able to find that Arctic Assault, though, and Cardinals just expends the flash. That's, the very minimum that you want to get out of that gank is Sejuani, but can UNSC really punish this? It doesn't look like he'll be able to. It's just going to be a full click from
I
Olaf.
the big punish is that he is now going to be at least 2 camps ahead of Sejuani. He's going to be able to pick up the crab topside as well, protect his Renekton, because that flash doesn't mean a lot, unless you come back in the next 2 or 3 minutes to actually pick up the kill.
Kind of interesting,
'Cause
even skipping the chickens headed right for red buff.
to be fair, Chicken's not the quickest in the world for Sejuani to do. Um, but yeah, he's just going to be very far behind as far as that jungle matchup goes. UNSC already finishing up the Krugs, heading towards that top crab. If Seaflow is able to get the pressure to double crab Sejuani, then Sejuani's just going to be doomed. Absolutely doomed.
Well, we'll see what happens here. For sure, it's the top crab, and Paytime hits level 4 first, but Cardinals much stronger. The Renekton, first blood.
Yeah,
You mentioned it
Renekton's a
not
pretty good
being,
champ.
yeah, you mentioned it not being a counter matchup, and there's a good explanation as to why. Thank you for demonstrating Paytime.
Yeah, no. Renekton, even when he's on cooldown, if he stacks up the Conquer, you just can't actually fight him. And this wave's just in an awful spot. It's still pushing forward, so he has to teleport in to try and crash it, but here comes UNSC.
Yeah, UNSC up here
Oh.
trying to hit the undertow. The dash away from Paytime. He had his flash still available, so he burns that. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Dyslexic looking for the engage, looking for RHC as their target. Cockman Suda getting a couple of spears in, gets slowed up, gets exhausted. Does he have enough damage on the Ren? Not going to be able to get in range, it looks like. And oh, he flashes forward for the Pierce. One more and he gets the Rend, but Beshiwap is here to try to turn this one around. A flash away from Dyslexic. He's just trying to get out. He's got that little bit of movement speed. Gets one stun. Cockman Suda gets a second kill. Beshiwap is low, stuck in this minion wave. Cockman Suda still on the hunt. Gets the Rend for the slow. Forward with the Pierce. I don't think he's going to have
Oh.
enough damage, but now maybe the dive in the top lane. UNSC hits the undertow, tanking turret. Cardinals walks in with the W. He'll find a second kill, and he'll dive back out with a slice and dice. Really nicely done by UNSC and Cardinals in the top lane. Seaflow's up 4-1.
Yeah. This top lane is just so absolutely doomed. With Paytime dying in the 1v1 means that he has to teleport back to try and fix the wave, because otherwise he's just going to be frozen on for the next 10 minutes. UNSC doing a really good job being there in time, burning the flash, and then they just stack the wave. If Paytime gives it up, he's going to be so far behind. Sticks stun around under the turret, tries to outplay it, but just was not able to. And a top lane matchup that was hard is now just absolutely impossible, as Cardinals is 2-0-0, has the Iron Spike whip, has a 12 CS lead, which is so absurdly strong.
Yeah, they're gonna swap
Teleport top.
for just a second, it looks like.
I would have really liked to see Cardinals teleport top and freeze that wave, but holding the teleport, maybe playing for the team. But yeah, the issue is even if you throw Yone top, that matchup isn't any better.
Yeah.
Renekton wins that matchup really hard as well. Um, yeah, no, Renekton just there's not a whole lot in this game that's going to be able to deal with him at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. They've been aggressive with the Renekton Olaf
Oh.
combo, which is not normally the top jungle combo that you see with Renekton, right?
Usually you pair him with an AP jungler, but Olaf is so strong in the early game that throwing two early game powerhouses together, it's a pretty strong duo.
Yep. Wave looks like it's going to crash in here for Aliot and RHC as he walks forward, gets the stun, Dyslexic, trying to combo back. Croc Matsuda not quite able to dash out. He'll get pulled in a little bit. But yeah, this lane not the strongest early on for the Swain Leona. You really need to hit a couple of levels into that Q before it starts to pay off. So,
Whereas Rel Callista can be pretty strong in the early game. Callista, of course, definitely a lane bully, so any sort of CC setup that you're able to have with her is usually pretty effective. Ooh. Black Salt not taking the damage from the Yone Qs means he's able to come out pretty evenly in that trade, which is pretty good. Once again, playing a mage that normally would have a lot of issues with Yone and doing a pretty good job of navigating the matchup so that he's not falling behind.
yeah, I think he's been doing a really good job, actually, the last two games. Like, uh, making sure that he's not taking huge chunks of trade, not dropping a lot of CS while he's kiting away from the soul. It's been really nice from him. Camel Basil in, looking for the dragon, not going to be able to find it just yet, and UNSC will secure that Earth Dragon to start the game off for Seaflow.
Yeah, which with the Olaf you expect to be able to pick that up, so like to see it. This wave's bad for pay time. That's the type of wave that's going to get frozen on you if you're not able to crash it. In order to crash it, you have to burn your spells on the wave, and if you burn your spells on the wave, Renekton's gonna kill you. So, very scary position here for him, and UNSC is even pathing up to this side, so if Cardinals freezes that, it's just over.
Yeah, and
Paytime's not allowed to lane anymore.
the Renekton ultimate, one of the few ultimates that isn't significantly better on Sylas than it is on the champion that it's supposed to be on, so...
What do you mean? Silas takes full use of the 100% AP ratio.
For health and burn, but you don't get the Fury, which I think is honestly bigger for Renekton.
100%. Like the flat health is really nice, but the being able to abuse your empowered abilities is a lot of where the power comes from. It's a lot of where you see Renekton just turning around and 1v2ing at level 6. But yeah, Paytime in a scary position though. UNSC startup Herald, he might actually get collapsed on here.
Yeah, UNSC able to secure the Rift Herald away from Beshiwap, and now Paytime pops that Renekton ultimate. UNSC dashes out of the Yone ult, but it's just not enough as Camel Basil finishes him off. The Sejuani ult not quite able to track down Cardinals as he flashes over it, so the Goon Squad here from FEC not going to be able to find anything more, but Herald in exchange for a kill, and now they'll get a push in, they'll get a chance to reset that wave, and hopefully get Paytime back to base, get an item or two, that he'll feel a little bit better.
It's actually so tragic for Cardinals. He had it frozen, and when your laners are freezing the enemy laner out of the game, you usually don't want to start a neutral objective, which might require him to walk down. And with UNSC dropping there, FEC is able to just get that shove in and, allow Paytime to play the game a little bit in a position where he should not have been allowed to. Cardinals actually just so scary for FEC to deal with, able to just walk them completely out 1v2.
Yeah, now UNSC is here. He's got the Rift Herald in his back pocket. Beshiwap over the wall. They're looking for UNSC because they have Camel Basil in their back pocket. Teleport coming in from Black Salt as they're trying to kite back away, make sure that they can get the victor, and Chaos Storm taking a little bit of damage down. Beshiwap separated from the team. And is he going to burn down that damage from the Undertow in the queue? The Cole the Meek from Cardinals finds his third kill of the game, and they'll get that shove in top. They'll probably commit the Rift Herald, I imagine. to be able to take down
Yeah.
this turret early on, although they're going to take some of this back. The Chaos Storm coming in for paytime, but his buddy Camel Basil is already down. Sidestep there, nicely done by Black Salt, kiting that one back away, and he finds a double kill at the end of it.
Yeah, play there by FEC where they felt like they had the advantage with the Yone roam up, but Black Salt with a good teleport up, and then there just really playing well to kite out that fight as his very strong early game champions, the Olaf and the Renekton, deal the damage necessary, and Steeflo is very far ahead at this point, 7-2 in kills, up more than 4,000 gold, 4,500 at 11 minutes into this game. It's very difficult to see um, how FEC is going to be able to come out on top of a fight here in the next, at least 5 minutes. It's very scary for them. Though, one bright thing is that Cflo did take that top lane turret, meaning that Paytime, if he wanted to, could actually freeze that wave up there and actually farm for a few minutes, though it looks like he didn't decide to do that.
Oh, Cockman Suda may be a little bit caught, but they're going to turn that one back around. They call in the ultimate. The Fates call for the double knockup into the Magnet Storm,
wow.
and Cardinals tears through the Swain. In comes the counter teleport. They're on to Paytime. He grabs some damage onto Dyslexic. They'll trade that one back because Beshiwap shows up, but Cflo pulls the trigger again on a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and
maybe
it's
a
the
little bit more.
teleport in
Beshiwap
from...
and Cardinals still hanging around. Dragon gonna spawn here in 30 seconds. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. The teleport in from Cardinals 29 combined with the really strong engage there from Dyslexic on the Rel means that everything just goes Cflo's way. Cardinals is pretty far up, and even though he's getting annoyed by the Sejuani can't actually engage on him. That's just how strong he is. He has the Stride Breaker. He has the Executioner's Calling. Ooh.
Not quite able
Almost
to find the
50
Pierce.
Pierce. Yeah. Dragon spawn though, meaning that we might see a fight here. Cardinals went back top lane, doesn't have the teleport available for it, so maybe a position in which FEC could look to get back into the game.
Oh,
But it looks like
excuse
they're
me.
just not going to be in a position to actually contest it.
Yeah, Paytime
People
also up in the
control
top lane, away from his turret. This is probably not where you want your Silas without teleport to be, but he's going to try to scrap with Cardinals. Fury of the Sands popped. Is it Fury of the Sands? I don't remember. That's a lot of damage, actually, from the Petricite Burst. Now Cardinals looking to turn it back around, although Beshiwap is here. Trying to kite this one back out. Going to get stunned up, though. Does he have the damage? Does he have the healing? It's not quite enough. It's a big shutdown going to Paytime. But the Dragon does fall in the process, so Cflo continuing to stack that one up.
Yeah, good collapse there from FEC. If they're not contesting the Dragon, then looking for a play on the other side of the map, they're able to kite it out long enough to be able to actually take down Cardinals. Ooh.
Cockman Suda taking a lot of damage, gets caught in the middle of that solar flare, and all of the CC right on top of him. It's a big shutdown again. Unfortunately to RHC, Aliot trying to finish off Dyslexic. They'll pull him in with the claw. A lot of damage coming through. They should eventually be able to finish him off, although Black Salt is in pursuit as well. They'll flip RHC back in. Damage coming through, the Chaos Storm ticking him down. RHC kiting back away, but in comes Camel Basil looking for Dyslexic on the backside of the fight. He's going to burn down eventually to Camel Basil, and now they'll get the knock-up. They'll pull in Black Salt. Should eventually finish him off, although RHC just able to live. Two big shutdowns again for Camel Basil, and that's a lot of gold back into the pockets of FEC.
Yeah, pretty massive there, as Cockman Suda was the one to face check the Tribush. Means that he's the one to get CC locked and bursted down. And in the extended fight, not a whole lot of consistent damage out of FEC until Yone ends up showing up and able to clean up a couple more kills. Means that a game that was looking nigh unlosable for Cflo, FEC getting an opportunity in it, sort of peeking in and getting a bit of a chance back into this game. Though the lead's still very firmly in favor of Cflo, so definitely still have the advantage, but there's a door opened. As Dyslexic and Cockman Suda back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, and Beshuop and RHC back there. They're going to use the Fate's Call to try to pull him out, but that's just going to set up the Sejuani and Leona ultimates. Big knockups trying to turn this one back around, but Kakmi and Suda just sitting on a wit's end, and he's exhausted at the time. Not going to be able to find that damage. RHC finishes him off. Sadly, again, a second kill for Leona, but now Dyslexic in trouble. Aliot trying to finish him off. Will finally do it with the Bird Bomb. UNSC trying to chase down Beshuop, has the Ragnarok available, trying to 1v3 and doing it relatively successfully thus far, but now the Ragnarok has ended. He gets CC'd up. Can he go anywhere? Flashes forward. He'll find the kill onto Aliot. Excuse me, UNSC. And now the undertow lands on RHC, just chasing down the Leona slowly but surely. Undertow again. More slows coming through, and he'll finish. Oh, well, Black Salt flashes forward for the Q, but Paytime's going to find the abscond and abduct. So UNSC, I'm going to call it a successful 1v3, and then Black Salt inserted himself. Camel Basil trying to chase down UNSC, but the Undertow gets dodged out on the Death Defied, and UNSC is fine. So 3,000 gold lead for Seaflow as Cardinals continues to push in that top lane.
Yeah, and that fight in the bottom lane, once again, really good engage there from FEC, taking advantage of Seaflow's bottom lane being a little bit too far forward. They get the CC down, they get the damage, but after the initial burst, without the Swain ultimate constantly ticking, they just don't actually have the damage to kill Olaf. And Olaf able to just lifesteal through everything, pick up a couple of kills back in the favor, but these are opportunities for FEC to get back in. All of this isn't,
stun onto
though.
Camel Basil. Yeah, this is not looking great for him. He'll eventually burn down. Cardinals picks up his 5th kill of the game. I've wanted to ask for a while what you thought about the wit's end on Kakmi and Suda.
The man's played a million more Callista games than I'll ever imagine playing. So, I'd assume that it has to be, right? There's a lot of magic damage on the enemy team. It gives attack speed. It's not awful.
Yeah.
But it does mean that he's going to deal a lot less damage than we would normally expect, right? Oh.
Yep. Oh, that Sejuani ult just clips Cardinals. They're still looking for it. Cardinals has the Fury of the Sands here. Now kiting back, but UNSC and Black Salt in his back pocket. Paytime gonna fall, and now the stun's down onto Beshuop. He hides for a little bit in the bush, but it's just not gonna matter. Cardinals tears through him, and he's able to kite and live long enough, and now they'll pick up a Herald for free at the end of that play. Nicely done by Cardinals.
A bit of an overchase there from FEC, feeling like they need to make something happen. Hard engaging onto Cardinals, who's just able to stall long enough for the rest of his team to show up and turn it around. Oh, Black Salt in a precarious position. Oh,
yeah,
but
still dodging out of all of that, and the Death Defied gonna have to be used to get back over the wall.
Really well played. Dodged out on a lot of Qs there from Yone. It might have gone much more scary than it did in that moment, but yeah. Camel Basil is looking for the plays, is looking to try and pick up these cheeky kills, but just not able to in that instance.
Yep, UNSC immediately dropping that Rift Herald mid. It looks like it should get that mid lane tower as Dragon spawns, so applying a little bit of pressure, maybe pulling him across the map. As doesn't look like Dragon's going to be the first priority, at least for Seaflow. They're headed to grab blue buff for Black Salt, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, Sejuani's looking for it here in the bottom lane.
Good flash by Kakmi and Suda away from that solar flare. That's important to negate that engage, but all 5 members of FEC down here in the bottom lane. Now Cardinals teleporting back in. We're going to have kind of a 5v5 face-off, but it's just in the bottom lane right now with the Dragon spawn. Now Seaflow has realized the objective. Paytime goes in, grabs the Callista ultimate. He's bound with Beshuop, so watch for the Sejuani to get Fates called in. But Dragon started up. There's the Fate's Call from Kakmi and Suda. Big knockup from Dyslexic as he goes in. That's a lot of crowd control coming through, and all of the damage finally following up from the Victor and from the Renekton. They're tearing through this fight, and that was not close. Seaflow with a 4-for-0 off of the back of a huge engage from Dyslexic.
Yeah, not close at all. Is Seaflow, when they're all there, when they're not getting caught out, they just deal so much damage. And FEC very far behind, feels the weight of the enemy wallet there, and it might actually even be a Baron. They have the Callista for the secure, so should be pretty hard for FEC to contest. They're coming out of the base, but half of them are running bot lane, so there's not going to be a contest here. They should just be going over to Seaflow for free.
Yeah, they might not even think that Seaflow has enough time to do this right now. Although Sejuani might peek in, hit that scrying orb right now, and there now sees the dragon at 3,000, or the Baron, excuse me, at 3,000 health. Beshiwap maybe looking for it. Is he going to dive in? Not in time. UNSC is able to secure that, and now Beshiwap will be sacrificed for his efforts.
Yeah, and that's just Seaflow.
Oh,
Ooh,
well,
Paytime being a little bit cheeky. It's a little scary though. The Olaf, if he lands one undertow, you are very much going to get ran down. But Seaflow taking the safer route there, just going to finish their recalls and spend their money because right now up nearly 10k gold. They have 3 dragons in their pocket. They are very much in a commanding position here in this game and looking to close the game out here. Cockman Suda taking a late recall. Report him. Unacceptable. Wasting Baron time.
yeah, I mean,
And he's
he's
not
going to
even
buy his
buying
mythic.
quickly. Oh my god. Divine Sunder. That's a mythic.
Yeah, he says that it's a new build being run on, it says ADCs in the chat. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, with the advent of tank Kog'Maw, maybe tank every AD carry is the way to go.
I'm trying to think about it in like not meming manner, like why this would be good. I'm not really sure.
Because you just are tanky. If you can't get one shot, then you deal more damage, right? If you
Yeah,
get one shot, then you deal 0 damage.
is that the big problem that's trying to be solved, or is it? Yeah, I guess it would have to be. I don't know. Regardless, it's going to be the shove in. Cardinals is alone here on the top side with Paytime and Camel Basil. Maybe going to have to try to 1v2 here. Not going so well for him so far. Teleport coming in from Black Salt. He tears through Camel Basil, and now Black Salt is here for the chase down. He just blows up Paytime, and Seaflow now can push in basically whatever they want without the Silas on the map.
And even in the 1v2 with no grievous
UNSC
wounds.
is still looking for it. He's got the Ragnarok. He'll chase down the Yone, and now on to Beshiwap. Gets a little bit of healing back. Beshiwap, you can't fight him. You've got to leave. You have no team coming for you, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, and, even in the 1v2, trying to take down Cardinals with no grievous wounds, it just means that he's able to sustain his way through it, tank it out, and wait for the Black Salt teleport to come in to secure the rest of the kills. And Seaflow is just very much in control, taking whatever they want. They've decided the bot lane turret is their first objective. Oh? Hirasuda's kind of alone here.
Yeah. He can call in Dyslexic with the Fates call, but is a little bit separated from the rest of the team. They're not actually going to grab that bottom lane turret, interestingly, on the next wave. They're looking for UNSC, who's just doing this this chicken camp. He's trying to heal back out through it, but do they actually have the damage to turn any of this on? UNSC just chasing down Alien on the bottom side of this fight. He's going to eventually fall, I'm sure. It's a shutdown going to the Yone. Kakme and Suda, a lot of damage down into Beshiwap, kiting back through. Does he have the damage on the Rend? There it is, finally. He's hopping back away. Just buying time, but Paytime eventually finishes him off, and FEC finds a couple of kills that maybe they shouldn't against the run of play. Huge damage, though, from that Chaos Storm. Camel Basil still looking for it, but now Cardinal's looking to turn. He gets the Stride Breaker slowed down, and they'll start to chase down. Cardinals is unstoppable, 9-1 on the Renekton.
And even when it looked like it's going in favor of FEC in the extended fight, the rest of the team just shows up for Seaflow, able to just turn these around. Cardinals is just so strong. Black Salt now 5-2-11, has 2 completed items, is on his way towards a third. They're just so strong. They deal so much damage. And the side of FEC doesn't. The only consistent source of damage that they have is Yone, maybe Silas. And the rest is just a lot of burst, and when you burn it at the beginning of the fight, they just don't have enough left over to take down the other members of Seaflow, and Seaflow taking full advantage of it. Now looking for this dragon. This will be the Ocean Soul if they're able to secure this. Looks like a 5v4. Silas has teleport, but isn't channeling it, and it looks like Seaflow is just going to be able to pick this up.
Oh, Beshiwap into the pit, but not quite going to be able to steal that one away. He'll fall. It's an Ocean Soul for Seaflow. This Cardinal still looking for a little bit more. Dyslexic on the hunt as well. Are they looking for this engage? Paytime is split on the top side. He's got teleport if they absolutely need him, but is 5v4 on the map, and Seaflow headed back to the minion waves. They have the Ocean Soul. They can sustain some poke, and they'll be feeling pretty good right now. Paytime has actually taken almost his entire health bar from that turret, so now you can't even call him in if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. But they're pressuring the turret here. Oh,
Ragnarok popped as UNSC is forward. Elliot hits the uh, ultimate, but Dyslexic says no. He finds the engage. Elliot gonna fall. The bird bomb will trade one, but it's not gonna matter. As Kakumansuda's low, he'll be taken down. Beshiwap finishes him off. It's a shutdown for the Sejuani, and now Paytime is able to join. UNSC taken low, but Cardinals is still full health along with Black Salt, and that's really all you need at this point. The two solo lanes so strong for Seaflow. They tear through the inhibitor, and now they're on to the Nexus turrets.
yeah, and they should be able to just take this down. RHC had a really strong game one. It did okay game two, but unfortunately, the rest of the map just fell apart. FEC kind of got, had a lot of trouble winning any of these fights. Seaflow just flexing with the early lead and just very convincing win there.
Yeah. So a 2-0 for Seaflow for the second week in a row, and um, turning it on after a rough start to the split. I don't know who they're playing this week, but the things I can plug are yeah, the gold team playing on stream on Wednesday night. So make sure to to show up for that. Excuse me. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow night. By the way, the Meta Shift Grand Finals. You've got Firelight along with I believe Cardinals, Cockman Suda. I don't know who the other two players are, but um, you could go support them on the Meta Shift stream. And then yeah, Thursday night will be the LRS game, which won't be live on a stream. They're playing the Legends Unicorns, and then we'll have that game at some point, I'm sure. So make sure you tune in for that. But that's going to do it for us this week. And
Yeah.
yeah, thanks again for joining us. Special shout out to Hulk for the subscription earlier on. Sorry if I missed anybody. I didn't see any others in the chat. I'm gonna go through and give out some more VIPs for people, so look forward to that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna kick it over to the Legends Esports stream. They've got LAS pre-made games going on right now. Clay plays in one of the teams, but I don't know that they're on stream this week. So yeah, I don't know. Support the league, I guess. But we'll go over there.